Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Key inactives for both teams today, including the bookend Pro Bowl defensive ends for the Rams in Long and Quinn. Sharif Floyd again out this week, and their very impressive rookie linebacker Eric Kendricks also out today due to injury. Mirror images of these teams they are to one another. Is that not right, Tony Siragusa?
You know what, Tom? You're absolutely right. And with Chris Long out and Robert Quinn out, William Hayes has to step up. Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, is very mobile. They want to go and get the ball downfield. Charles talked about Adrian Peterson and Todd Gurley in the ground attack, and everybody knows that. But both of these teams are going to try to establish the run game. But they got to go and keep Teddy Bridgewater in that pocket. Also, keep an eye on Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald for the Rams is a guy who's an impact player and can really change things in the middle. Number 99 from the University of Pittsburgh. Keep an eye on him, guys.
I knew you'd find a way to sneak in the University of Pittsburgh.
Oh, did I say he was from the University of Pittsburgh? I didn't know if I said that, Tom.
Mike Zimmer in his second season came over as defensive coordinator with the Bengals and getting his first crack as a head coach in the NFL. They've won 3 in a row. Jeff Fisher's been around 20 years in this league as a head coach. Vikings won the toss and deferred to getting the football into the second half. So we get a look right from the get-go. 26-year-old Austin, Texas native Nick Foles came over in the trade from Philadelphia for Sam Bradford in March. Really been all about winning games. He's not throwing for a lot of yards, but in his 25 career starts, an 18-7 record, not bad.
And that's all he cares about. Number one is winning games. Although when he's with Philadelphia, as you saw on the screen, he enjoyed his time against Minnesota in terms of yardage. But his team lost the game, so that's not what Nick Foles is about. He wants to win football games.
And naturally, the long setback, the rookie out of Georgia, Todd Gurley. They fake it to Gurley. They fake it to Tavon Austin. Foles being chased, and he will dump it off to Austin. And he dropped it. No gain. Second down and 10.
And I think that St. Louis just missed an opportunity. They put all the attention on Gurley. Tavon Austin would be the second one. But watch this route here. This is what this was designed for. Looks like Kenny Britt is running wide open down past Terrence Newman after they had faked it to Gurley inside. They faked it to Tavon Austin on the reverse motion. That was for the big shot. And Nick Foles unable to find his guy downfield.
Carry of the game for Gurley, and he is met head-on right at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Barr and Linval Joseph on the stop, third down and 10. A struggling St. Louis offense. No two ways about that. They can run it, but they have a hard time throwing it. Havenstein, you saw, is out today, so he will be replaced by Garrett Reynolds, who moves to right tackle. And Andrew Donald today at left guard, his first snaps in the NFL on offense.
Restructuring offensive lines, not a lot of fun for people, no matter what time of year. St. Louis trying to make it work today.
Foles throws incomplete, was under heavy pressure, so it is 3 and out. This is a Rams offense, and just quite simply has just struggled so badly. 30th in yards per game, 28th in points per game. To give you an idea, the Rams have scored 110 points so far this year. The league average is over 160. That's average.
And part of the reason, they get to third down and can't convert. We just saw it again, 26% coming into the game.
Very short punt by the normally reliable Johnny Hecker. And this Minnesota opening possession on offense will begin in Rams territory. Teddy Bridgewater will turn 23 years young this coming Tuesday. He grew up in Miami, played collegiately in Louisville, took over a month into the season as a starter last year. 12 starts overall, had his ups and downs, but he's ripped off 6 straight home wins. And they still very much like this young man's future.
He takes care of the ball very well. They want him to actually take a few more chances. With this field position, don't be surprised to see if Minnesota opens up and tries to get big early.
Well, they fake it one way, and wide open is the backup tight end. That is Red Ellison. It looked like they had Stephon Diggs wide open down the sideline.
And now both teams have talked all week about when opportunities present, we have to hit them because the defenses are so good. So you can't squander them. Well, the Rams did on the first play of the game. Had Kenny Britt wide open, didn't find him. That could have been a huge play. Right here, Teddy Bridgewater goes with the safer throw instead of taking the shot down the sideline himself.
And it's a gain of 5 on first down. Penalty flag down. Peterson off to the left side will be denied first down yardage. And we wait on the penalty. Ronald Torbett, our referee today.
It's our third game in 4 weeks with Mr. Torbert and his crew.
Offside. Defense. Number 90. 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
We talked about these teams mirroring one another. They're very good in the run game, both of them ranking in the top 5 of the NFL. Khalil healthy again. Rudolph is healthy again, but Diggs has been the talk of the town the last 3 weeks.
He's been spectacular for them. Has really opened up things out wide for Teddy Bridgewater in the offense.
Peterson bottled up at the line of scrimmage, tries to break it to the outside. Great pursuing Rams defense, runs him out of bounds. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage, and even without Robert Quinn and Chris Long and the strong safety T.J. McDonald, this is still a stout front 7.
They don't feel like there's much drop-off, if any, when they bring guys in for people who are hurt. You notice there's 2 linebackers that we're showing in Akeem Ayers and James Laurinaitis. That's because Mark Barron is really playing linebacker. You see him there as a weak safety. He's really playing linebacker, but he doesn't want to be listed as such. So we'll accede to his wishes and watch him play. He's something.
Play fake to Peterson. Bridgewater steps up, lobs down the sideline. Had an open Mike Wallace and missed it. He had slipped behind Maurice Alexander, who starts in place of T.J. McDonald.
And Tony, there's the movement you were talking about with Teddy Bridgewater. The mobility isn't necessarily him running with the ball, but keeping plays alive and creating others.
Yeah, with his size and the way he moves in the pocket, just extends the plays right there, and then the receivers downfield can get open. But both of these teams that we saw in the opening play and right here with Teddy Bridgewater missed opportunities. These guys got to settle down, figure out what they want to do, keep that ground game, establish that, because I think both of these running backs get better as the game goes on.
3rd down and 10 at the Rams 36-yard line. Great protection. How about that throw? Threading the needle right between Laurinaitis and LaMarcus Joyner. That is a first down to Jarius Wright.
He slung that one, huh?
Certainly did. And Tom, you're so right about the protection that he got on this play. Excellent job by the offensive line. Look at Jarius Wright running in between James Laurinaitis, 55, and LaMarcus Joyner, number 20. And great call, partner, because it's exactly what he did. He threaded it right in between 2 defenders, put it right on him. And people talk about Teddy Bridgewater's arm strength. He's got enough arm strength to be very successful in this league.
Peterson inside the 20, down to the 17-yard line. 2-time NFL rushing leader, including 2012. He was the NFL's most valuable player, rushing for over 2,000 yards. Of course, last year played in 1 game, ironically, against this Rams team, then was suspended, wound up on the commissioner's exempt list, and back healthy again.
Adrian Peterson does not age, guys. He found the fountain of youth.
Again to Peterson on 2nd and 3. And patiently trying to find the first down marker. Comes up short. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
You think both of these defenses are playing the run, Charles?
Oh, without a doubt. And Tony, did you see how heavy Minnesota went to the right side of the offensive line? Everyone stacked up there, offensive linemen, tight ends, the whole deal, trying to give Adrian Peterson some extra people to escort him towards the secondary, and I thought St. Louis played it very well.
An outstanding Rams defense in the red zone. Both of these teams scuffle offensively in the red zone, and that was nearly intercepted. Short crossing route to Charles Johnson, and Johnson, Tremaine, no relation right there with him, forcing a field goal try.
Looked like he just quit on the route. I mean, the ball was there.
It's a timing route, and what Tremaine Johnson did so well was played it similar to the Super Bowl when Brandon Browner mugged Ricardo Lockett on the route and forced the play, and then the interception as a result of it. That was an excellent defensive play by Tremaine Johnson on the corner.
Blair Walsh is hit on 13 in a row. Good snap, good hold, and make it 14 in a row. It all began with a poor punt by Hecker of only 26 yards. Early in the Rams will try and answer. 3-0 Vikings.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
Todd Gurley and the Rams set for their second offensive possession of the game after 3 and out a moment ago. A short punt leading to a Minnesota field goal.
Guys, a lot of wind down here on the field, so none of these catches by these receiving guys are guaranteed.
That one blasted through the back of the end zone again by Blair Walsh. So here comes Gurley, and Charles, you brought it up on Friday. This guy reminds you of another pretty good runner.
Yeah, and it's similar, and it's an easy reach because you're talking about the same uniform, Eric Dickerson. And the reason I say that is more size, speed, power combination. I don't think he runs it exactly like Dickerson. Dickerson was so unique. He almost looked like he's running in slippers at times until you ran up on him, and then you realize how much power he had. Gurley has that same power, vision, acceleration, and the excitement he's creating right now for this Rams team, similar to when Eric Dickerson was carrying the ball for them as well.
Gurley's only 21 years old, a native of Tarboro, North Carolina. Fumbled snap. They hand it to Gurley off the right side. His best run in the early part of this game, and it's close to a 10-yard pickup. He didn't play the first 2 weeks, and now look what he's done his first 5 career games. His first 4 starts, he's gone for 125 plus in each one of them.
And how interesting is it that in this game, we're talking about these three principles. Dickerson sets the tone. That's career. Peterson second, Gurley third, and we didn't have to do any manipulation. That's legitimately how it rolled out and aligned for this game.
Tried to loft that one over the defender, did Foles, incomplete. Second down and 10. Many remember, some may not. Gurley last year tore up his ACL in his final season at the University of Georgia, and everybody thought, oh, is this young man going to be able to come back? Well, the Rams were buying, while everyone else may have been selling. They decided to take him in the first round anyway. Didn't play for the first time until week 3. Had 6 rushes, 9 yards against the Steelers, and then got loose the following week in the big upset at Arizona. Nowhere close to the intended receiver, Brian Quick.
Ton of pressure in his face. Looked like Brian Robinson, 96, was in the face of Nick Foles, and on the previous play, Anthony Barr had been in his face and helped create the incompletion. Watch Robinson right here. Watch him as he finishes things off, as he gets past Garrett Reynolds, 71, and forces Foles into an incompletion.
It's another open receiver, though.
Yes.
Pressure comes again. Gurley, that's an outstanding tackle. Made in the open field by Anthony Barr.
And that's one of the things that you'll see. And Tony, you talked about in our meeting last night. Vikings, one of the best open field tackling teams in the league.
Absolutely.
Tony, you think that's vintage Mike Zimmer?
I'll tell you what, he's just an old school coach. He worries about the little things, about tackling, blocking. That's why this team is so good.
Becker, better punt here. Sherrills, who ran one back for a touchdown last week, dropped right where he caught it by Charles Johnson. Well, it's beautiful here this weekend in Minneapolis. The home team out to a 3-0 lead.
game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Tell you what, Charles, you and I had the privilege of starting over on the Big Ten Network together, and man, these schools in the Big Ten, the facilities are just unbelievable.
They do things right.
Man.
To compete with each other, it better be right. Otherwise, those kids are going somewhere else.
It's Williams Arena where they play basketball. There's a first down, incompleted pass, and a penalty flag is down. They'll throw it on Janoris Jenkins, who was on the rookie Stephon Diggs.
Not many people have taken very many shots at Janoris Jenkins lately. He's playing at a very high level on the corner.
Defense, number 21. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Jenkins was a Pro Bowl alternate in 2014. See him at the top of your screen. He's working on Diggs. Got his hands on him the entire way. Okay to do it at 5 yards, but when the ball's in the air, he's got to be able to get his hands off and play him.
So it's an 8-yard penalty, naturally an automatic first down. Vikings leading just under 9 minutes to go. 3-0. Pointing at one another.
I think the Vikings going to be the ones who get the penalty. But they're having a pretty good discussion between officials on this one.
Neutral zone infraction. Defensive right tackle dumped in the neutral zone. Cause the offensive lineman to false start. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Heavy pass rushing teams, Tony, guys like to get off the ball. You get this a lot out of them, don't you?
Tell you what, that's the one thing. You can really work the snap count, that hard count to really draw them off, especially when they're trying to get the penetration that both of these teams are trying.
These guys like to get off the ball and get up the field fast. And sometimes you can catch them with hard counts and changing your cadence. Did it again.
It looked like Peterson started early that time. We'll see.
Even he's ready to go.
Maybe the center.
A lot of anticipation for this game.
Offense, number 28.
Yep.
5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
So we've had 3 penalties consecutively.
A lot of anticipation coming into this game. Both teams wanting to see how they matched up. Tony talked about them being mirror images of each other. James Laurinaitis said that to me in the field in pregame. We're mirror images. The Vikings have been one of the fewest penalized team in the league, but when both teams are amped up, things like that happen early. Let's see if they settle in.
So you went 1st and 10 to 1st and 5, and now 1st and 10 again. And Peterson up to the 35-yard line, a gain of 7. And we say hello for the first time today back in L.A. to Mike Hill. Hiya, Mike.
Hey, guys, you got great running backs in your game. LaShawn McCoy says, don't forget about me, fellas. Shady, doing shady things. 48-yard touchdown run, his longest of the season. Bills also have the safety. They're up 9-0 over the Dolphins in the first time. Charles, back to you.
Well, Mike, that's great news for our son Luke, because he told me today on his fantasy team he was taking LaShawn McCoy.
Nice choice.
So he's jumping up and down right
well
now.
Done.
I haven't said McCoy's name much this year. Beat up. There's a throw. Wide open is Johnson, and he's inside the 45, close to the 40-yard line.
I get the sense right now that Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, is calling this game a little bit in reverse. Not so much everything going to be a first down run with Adrian Peterson, because you're going to get that 8-man front. You're going to get a lot of people in the box. So you go play action, throw the ball in the early downs to try and loosen things up for Peterson to operate a little bit later. And they found Charles Johnson downfield wide open on that first down play.
25-yard gain. The ball rests just outside the St. Louis 41-yard line. 1st and 10 Vikings. And again, they're going to throw it. Dump it off out of the backfield to Adrian Peterson. People forget Peterson is an excellent receiver. They haven't asked him to do a lot of it through the years, but when given a chance, he will catch it if you throw it.
Came into the league with the reputation of someone who didn't catch the ball well and really worked at it. Came into today's game with 223 receptions in his career. Guys who are used to having the ball in their hands, they can develop into good receivers if you give them an opportunity. And so far in this game, seeing Norv Turner, offensive coordinator, he wants Peterson to touch it, but doesn't necessarily always have to be on a running play, especially not on 1st and 10.
2nd and 1, again a play fake one way. They misdirection the other way. And that's a big tight end who's healthy again. Golden Domer Kyle Rudolph. Well, when this guy's healthy, he's one of the best in the NFL, and that's the first down.
Look at what they're facing, all right? Look at all these Rams so close to the line of scrimmage. So instead of just saying, okay, second and short, we hand it to Peterson, you go run fake with him and try and get some open space for your guys, and that's exactly what they did on this play with Kyle Rudolph. Teddy Bridgewater fakes it to the big guy, Adrian Peterson. Everyone goes towards him. He moves out to the opposite side and finds Rudolph wide open in the flat for an easy completion and first down.
Flag again, and this is going to be against Minnesota. They blew it dead. Well, now perhaps this may be against Nick Fairley, number 98.
Defense, number 98, unabated to the quarterback. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's because he was unabated to the quarterback.
So they had to blow it dead so they don't have to get a quarterback knocked out of the game.
Play, yeah.
Yes, not a free run at him, and which turns into a big hit. And you see how they struggle. They've let everybody score. I mean, everybody scored on each drive, but the big one, though, is that they've held them to just 5 touchdowns. That's the stat that you want most. That's the most important stat to you. Field goals, you're willing to give up in this league. But touchdowns, the Rams, they don't make it easy for you.
They're the best. They're number one in the NFL in red zone defense. Well, they're running this over and over again. Not Rudolph this time. It's Michael Pruitt, the rookie out of Southern Illinois, grew up just outside of St. Louis.
And this is not a major surprise because Norv Turner has pretty much looked at this and said, okay, if you're going to have all these people up there, look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right up there in the box, okay. We're going to make sure we're going to loosen you up a little bit. I'm going to find creases and gaps and openings other places before I run my big guy into the teeth of that every single down.
Loaded on the right side of that line, and it's Peterson. He'll dance his way untouched to the end zone. Boy, they've loaded up on that right side. Harris a guard, Clemmings a tackle, Rudolph a tight end. Nobody so much as put a breath on Peterson.
And look at Mike Harris, 79, coming around from the guard position. Look at that lead block, which just escorts Adrian Peterson into the end zone. Fantastic job. Kyle Rudolph as well, 82, sealing the right side that allowed Adrian Peterson to dance in.
What do you think the name of that was? Whole line to the right, Charles?
Remember they used to call it student body right at USC? Right. I think it was student body and the rest of the crowd too.
Point after by Walsh is good. Peterson a big part of that drive and caps it off with the touchdown. 10-0 Minnesota.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by Pizza Hut. Bring home the flavor. Only at Pizza Hut.
Well, while some of us were in meetings all weekend, Charles and Tony were hanging out over at the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
Tony was looking for a razor apparently, and they weren't selling one over there.
I was a little upset that the Ferris wheel had a weight restriction. You got to work on that deal.
Minnesota, and that one again through the back of the end zone, and the Rams will get it at the 20. Peterson off to a good start. Very quiet so far for Gurley and the Rams. 5:24 to play in the opening quarter. The Rams have to get something, anything started outside of a 10-yard run by Gurley. It has been Zippo, not a single one completion in 5 attempts so far for Nick Foles.
I think, though, for the Rams, whatever they do, don't get out of character too much too early. It's only 10. A couple possessions haven't been great. What they average running the ball, 1.7 yards a carry in the first quarter all year long. But that number goes up as the game goes on. They have to stay with it, press the run. That's their strength. They have Mike Harkey in playing fullback. That tells me they want to stay with the running game.
Gurley slowed down initially as Sendejo came up to slow him down in the backfield. And then a host of defenders here to wrap him up.
You know what the Vikings have? corners that will come up and get active in the run game. Because look at Minnesota. They take care of things very well. Sendejo, a safety, gets involved. There's Barr, 55, a linebacker. Look at Rhodes, 29, up on the line of scrimmage. When everyone's willing to tackle, that allows your defense to be that much better in containing a good running game.
Gurley looking right into the sunshine. Run out of bounds by Chad Greenway, and we went out to Los Angeles with Mike Hill.
All right, Skids and Pats after a Kirk Cousins pick. LeGarrette Blount and the boys capitalized. 5 yards for the score. It's all Patriots in this one so far. 14-0. Tom, Charles, back to you.
Well, that should come as a surprise to no one.
And whatever week the game plan calls for, run week for the Patriots, they'll do it.
3rd down, that's a good throw. First time we've called the name Tavon Austin. #1 pick 3 years ago out of West Virginia, and having his best start to a season.
And here he is outside. You're exactly right, Tom. This start for Austin, you can see him growing in confidence each and every week. And here he slipped past Xavier Rhodes' attempted tackle to gain additional yardage for the 1st down. Frank Cignetti, the offensive coordinator, writes a number on his play calling sheet every week. And that number signifies how many touches he has to get Tavon Austin. That's the first one of the day. I think 10 should be the minimum.
Ball start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's Andrew Donnell, who is playing his first NFL game along the offensive line today. 4th-round pick out of the University of Iowa.
And did I notice Tavon Austin in the backfield on that play? So we were talking about touches a moment ago, right? So as a play caller, you're not necessarily just calling plays.
The start of the snap. There is no foul. 1st down, clock starts on my ready for play.
All right, let's go to the official's call first. What Ronald Torbert was telling us is that on silent counts, a lot of times the guards will make sure everyone's set, and then they'll tap the center to tell them it's okay to snap the ball. That's the movement that they called, and they're saying that's not illegal. They're picking up the flag on that play. So that's what Ronald Torbert was trying to let us know. A lot of times in that gun, you'll see them, and then you'll see one of the guards has the assignment of saying, we're good to go, taps the center when they're in gun formation.
So a 1st down, and they hand it to Gurley off the right side. Cuts back into the middle, run down by Linval Joseph, the former Giant.
But to complete my thought about touches with Tavon Austin, as a play caller with Frank Cignetti, you're not just calling plays, you're calling people plays. What person can do the most damage on that particular play, make sure he touches the ball. Sometimes you take that guy and put him in different spots. That's why Tavon Austin will be in the slot. He'll be out wide. He'll line up at tailback and carry the ball inside. They'll do a number of things with him, and right now, I believe he's back at the tailback position.
There he is. Austin will get the carry. And not much there. Tripped up again by Andrew Sendejo. Austin, one of only 6 players in the NFL with 7 or more touchdowns. 4 receiving, 2 rushing, including 1 last week. And has returned a punt for a touchdown.
And the things that he can do to mess up the defense. Let's see now if the Rams decide not to throw the ball on this key 3rd down and still run it.
3rd down and 5. Fake it twice. Looking for that ball down the middle to Kenny Britt. And he caught it. Got tangled up step for step. Down the middle of the field with Terrence Newman. That play was there earlier. They didn't hit it. They hit it now.
It looked familiar, didn't it? Because this is the exact play they ran on the first play of the game. They'll fake it inside to Gurley on a running play. They'll fake it to Austin on the ghost motion behind him. And then Foles launches it downfield. Kenny Britt on a deep post pattern. And he puts it out there perfectly. Look at the concentration by Britt. Because Terrence Newman actually hits him before the ball gets there. Britt's able to stay with it and haul it in for a monster completion.
Nick Foles, guys, right now is having a little problem with his helmet. He has no communications with his sideline, so he's on the sideline right now.
St. Louis.
We're going to take a look at that reception by Britt. Thought we had a challenge on this reception by Britt. It is clearly a catch. problem was apparently a communication breakdown in the headset, and the Rams were forced to spend a timeout. So after the 57-yard gain, they handed to Gurley. Still grinding those feet, pounding away, and very close to the goal line. It stopped apparently outside the 1.
This has been the issue for the Rams, punching it in themselves inside the 10-yard line. And what a nice start. Gurley and his offensive line continuing to work and gain additional yardage to set up a 2nd and short.
He's fighting for inches down here, guys.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're thinking 4 down already to try and get set a tone. Harkey, the fullback, is in the game as the lead blocker.
Boy, he's alone. Gurley. Slam, stays on his feet, and into the end zone goes a rookie out of Georgia, and the Rams are on the board. Got the big reception to Britt, and Gurley does arrest.
And he keeps his feet going here, Charles. He gets stuffed there in the beginning.
Tony, was that Barr that met him first, 55?
Yeah, I think it was.
And look at how he bounced off, slid to the side, turned, and found his way into the end zone. Are they going for 2 at this stage?
Looks like they're going for 2.
You know, one thing, during warm-ups, Jeff Fisher, he was really concerned about the win and about kicking that 32-yard extra point. So I wouldn't be surprised if he went for 2 going this way every time.
Well, it looks like that concern has come to fruition, Tony. They're going to go for 2 here instead of kicking it.
Of course, Fisher has never been afraid to roll the dice. And certainly this goes against, the way you normally try and manage a game. They hand it to Gurley, and he is met head-on and stumped this time. And that is Harrison Smith, a big hitting free safety for Minnesota. Tony, that's right in front of you. That's big league hit.
Huge. Laval, I'll tell you what, everybody was running to the ball, but Laval Joseph, I'll tell you what, he stopped any kind of movement that Gurley had going forward.
I mean, what a double team. Joseph 98, but the big one was Harrison Smith coming from outside to inside that really helped jolt it. Between the 2 of them, no way was there any momentum going forward after those hits.
All right, so the Rams finally get something going here today. Charles, I want to ask you and Tony both. It really only makes sense, does it not? When you're coming to a game like this, all the talk about Peterson and Gurley, that the defense is going to think you want to give it to those guys every single time. So we're going to go against that grain and start slinging it around a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element of that. Look at the first play of the game that the Rams faked it inside to Gurley, faked it to Austin on the reverse motion, and then Foles doesn't take the shot downfield to Britt, but they came back to it, and they got it big later. But I think more than anything, both teams don't want to operate against 7, 8, 9-man fronts. So they've got to find something to get them out of that. Part of that is throwing the ball, screens, and draws.
Or Darrell Patterson barely crosses the 20-yard line. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on there. There might be some of that college basketball. The Gavitt tip-off games. The Big East against the Big Ten for 4 days. Begins November the 17th. Nebraska against number 11 Villanova only on FS1.
I love that. Paying homage to the man himself, Big Daddy Dave Gavitt, former head coach of Providence, Olympic coach.
Oh, yeah.
The creator of the Big East and the commissioner. You know what he did for me all my years? Every year he would have 2 tickets for me to the Big East tournament for my parents to attend.
Wow.
How about that?
How about that?
What a man. We miss Big Daddy.
First down throw, Bridgewater rolling, and dumps it off to Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield for minimal yardage, if any at all.
That's one of those plays, Tony, where Jerick McKinnon might tell Teddy Bridgewater in film, why are you going to throw it to me there? We're standing right next to each other. Why don't you run it if you're going to take you take that hit instead of let me get popped like that?
Yeah, with 2 guys sniffing down my back, I can hear him breathing steady. All that comes with experience.
We're going to keep an eye as this game progresses, not attempting that extra point a moment ago. Could be a very big play in this game. Bridgewater. It's a long throw to the far side, and Diggs makes a catch. It'll bring up 3rd down And that should be the final play of this opening quarter.
We're going to see aggressive corners on both teams all game long. You just said Janoris Jenkins again, 21. He will challenge every pass in his territory.
First quarter, Gurley, 20 rushing yards. Peterson, 20 rushing yards. Each with a touchdown. NFL on Fox is back in a moment. A third down and 3 for Minnesota. Blitz coming. Bridgewater gets it away, and it's incomplete. A flag comes in. So LaMarcus Joyner got tangled up with Mike Wallace.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
I love the reaction by the defensive backs after the flag is thrown. Like they really didn't do anything. I tell you what, it's tremendous. Take a look at it right here.
You know how we are, Tony.
Oh, man.
And here's Joyner, 20. Look at him driving on that whip route to the outside by Mike Wallace and getting the flag. And there's Greg Williams. And you know something? He's not going to be overly upset with those calls. He loves an aggressive secondary, and he's going to tell him to keep playing aggressively all day long.
Well, he's known for his aggressiveness, Greg Williams. He's got a cool look there, too.
He really does. You know, I was thinking that he seems to be getting younger every year.
Yeah, he looks a little bit like Cruella de Vil a little bit with that little thing in the front there. I'll tell you what.
Did you really just say that?
No, I didn't say what. What did I say?
You said he's from the University of Pittsburgh.
That's right.
And there's James Laurinaitis, 55, and he controls things for Greg Williams as a defensive play caller. He has the authority to change defenses on the fly if the offense shows him something that dictates it. So he tries to do the same checks that a quarterback does, just as a defensive player.
It's a homecoming for Laurinaitis. Grew up here in Minneapolis, and Bridgewater will slide up to the 37-yard line. A third down and 4 upcoming, and we check in with Kurt Menefee.
You've got a good game in Minnesota and a good matchup going on in Carolina. Green Bay and the unbeaten Panthers. Cam Newton, 1-yard dive for the score. Panthers up by a field goal in the second quarter. Tom, Charles, and Tony.
Really excited about seeing those Panthers in person next weekend, Charles.
Listen, for a team that has a dearth of weapons on offense, they find ways to make it happen. And the main feature is that guy wearing number 1 who just saluted the troops.
You are not lying about that. Look at this, taking that shot that Mike Zimmer talked about. Just slightly overthrows Jarius Wright.
And the biggest part about it is it's okay to take the shots, but eventually they have to be hit. Because there's the Marcus Joyner going to play tight.
Well, he got away with it.
He got away grabbing him along the way. And that's part of that aggressiveness. If you do it long enough, eventually the officials quit calling things, and you get away with more.
He really got away with one there. Tavon Austin, two of the most dangerous punt returners in all of football, on display here today. 10-6, Minnesota in front. A little over 13 minutes to play until halftime.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history. By Papa John's, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
Guys, huge advantage right now for the Rams with the wind at their back. You could see how it affected the punts early in the game for them when they were facing the opposite direction in the first quarter. The flags are blowing really hard here, and it's right in the face of Minnesota. And I think right now the Rams have to take advantage of that with the wind to their back.
Nick Foles started the game 0 for 4. He's 4 for his last 4, including the big long ball to Britt. Getting a break is Gurley, and Trey Mason, who led the Rams as a rookie in rushing yards last year, with the first down carry, a gain of a yard. Jeff Fisher told us yesterday, he said, look, last week was a perfect world at the running back position. Gurley, 20 attempts. Mason, 15 attempts.
Perfect in this day and age, especially when you're getting the type of yardage Gurley's picking up. And a guy coming off of an ACL injury 51 weeks ago. Get him some breaks.
Good as he throws. And making the reception is Kenny Britt. That ball was underthrown after the big hit by Harrison Smith.
Harrison Smith on the blitz, but look at the ball skills, and you hear that term a lot from about receivers being able to find the football, and Britt finds it, and Terrence Newman doesn't until it's too late. People like that underthrown ball and allow the acrobatic receivers, the athletic receivers, to make plays before the defensive backs can react. And that's exactly what Britt did.
Nick Foles got a big hit on that last play, too.
And he's also got headset problems again. They may have to use their second timeout. Play clock down to 1, and they just do get it off just in time. Screen read beautifully. Doesn't get any better than that than a 10-year veteran, Chad Greenway.
You're not going to fake him out on any screen. He's going to sniff him out. He knows exactly where he's looking. He knows where he's susceptible.
And
watch his eyes.
And this is his type of game too, guys, because Chad Greenway's role has been reduced. Okay, as you see there, Foles gets it off just before Tom Johnson gets to him. But Chad Greenway's not on the field nearly as much as he was in his All-Pro days. But today, and against a heavy run team, he's going to play a lot.
130th career start today for Greenway. Short gain by Mason, wrapped up by Joseph. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. And we brought up earlier, the Rams on 3rd down this season have converted an NFL worst 25% of the time. They're 2 out of 4 so far today. Blitz coming. Foles gets it away. Trying to thread it into the hands of Jared Cook, and it's batted away, incomplete. Captain Munnerlyn on the cover.
They ran the pressure at Foles. He's still able to find a receiver. And who he tries to go to is Jared Cook, but Captain Munnerlyn, who's moved from an outside corner to primarily the nickel corner on the inside, makes an outstanding play going over the top.
So it'll be a 61-yard field goal try. Tony talked about that win.
Big win that is back right now.
And we know that Zuerlein has more than enough leg to get it there. There it comes off his foot, and it is good! 61 yards by Zuerlein. How about that? This might have made it from 71. The 7th longest field goal in the history of the National Football League. And that's not an exaggeration to say it would have been good from 71.
Yeah, and no altitude. You know, you often talk about if you're going to set records, you want to kick them in Denver, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Not today. And if I'm not mistaken, that's his career long, correct?
Oh, yeah.
He came into today's career long, had been 60. And he bettered that by 1, and you're right. 71 was definitely not out of reach.
Well, he has a wind at his back. Same direction on this kickoff. And naturally, he bounces one. It's going to be returned. Patterson will take a knee.
And that was the 61-yarder. But this is how he warms up in pregame. And if you're a Rams fan and you don't understand what he's doing, you're just going to be nervous because none of these are going through the posts. The reason? He's aiming for an upright. He's trying to hit an upright. You know what that comes under the heading of, guys? Aim small, miss small. So what he's trying to do is aim for the smallest possible target to sharpen up things for him later on, as opposed to you aim big. A lot of times you miss big. Greg Zuerlein hasn't missed today.
Big gainer for Adrian Peterson on 1st down, and that's up to the 32-yard line. Neither one of these talented running backs has gotten loose today.
No, but what we're seeing is the start of it, I think, for both of them, because we've seen both of them try to do things a little bit out of, I wouldn't say out of character, but trying to loosen things up. Draws, screens, throw the ball early and down in distance to try and get things loosened up to hand it to their big guys.
Right back in his hands, and why not? Gain of 2 on 1st down. That is only the 10th time in the history of the National Football League that a field goal has traveled 60 or more yards in a regular season game.
Think about most of the history of the NFL back when we were wee lads, right? The ball just came back out to the 20. But then when they started changing things, saying, okay, it comes back to where you kicked it from the line of scrimmage, people got less and less aggressive about the longer field goal.
Peterson again crossing to 35. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Minnesota scored the game's first 10. The Rams come back with 9 unanswered. And we're under 9:40 to play until halftime.
And one thing for us to all to keep in mind as we see these guys run the football, some of these 2 or 3 yard runs we're seeing now, those are the ones that turn into 20-yard runs later. And that's what they're looking for.
Brandon Fusco, the starting left guard, shaken up on the play. And I think the official was actually the one who made the determination that Fusco needed to come out of the game, although nobody directly looking at him right now.
I wonder if that was an equipment issue to send him off.
Third down, Bridgewater throws. Incomplete. With an eye on Mike Wallace. Wallace last week without a single reception. First time he's done that in his career since that last game in Miami last year where he was benched in the second half.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that he's not in Miami anymore. And he has the route and he's open. Bridgewater unable to hit him, but you know why? It's the pressure Greg Williams brought. James Laurinaitis was right in the face of Teddy Bridgewater, had to get rid of it a beat too early and unable to do it accurately.
Low line drive punt this time, kicking into that win. And Austin shot down by Trey Waynes, their #1 pick.
This game is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
Tony Siragusa brought it up earlier, this wind. They had it officially listed outside the stadium at 20 miles per hour before game time. It has picked up significantly since then. Then you bring in the dimensions of the stadium, swirling winds. 61-yard field goal by Zerline. Tavon Austin, as the Rams get the football trailing 10-9, lines up in the backfield. And they give it to him. And that did not fool the Minnesota defense. We have called that name aplenty. Linval Joseph, 3 years as a starter with the New York Giants, his second year in Minnesota.
He's playing at a Pro Bowl level. I just go ahead and say it. This isn't just hyperbole either. Tony, he's taking on double teams, single blocks, whatever, and he's eating them up. And he's not just taking them on, he's making plays.
He's controlling the middle of the field.
Joseph had a monster game in the win over Chicago just last week. First time we've called the name Stedman Bailey. Got a flag bounce, and a flag comes in over on the sideline.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That's a big call right there.
Yeah, they'd made a nice play and were bringing up a big 3rd and long. And you see right here, number 24, Captain Munnerlyn making the tackle. There's a straight arm from here, but there's the grab of the mask. So really it was a straight arm from Bailey into the chest of Munnerlyn, and Munnerlyn's hand came up trying to make the tackle and got the mask. And instead of 3rd and long, the Rams pick up a first down.
Yep, tack on 15, ball moves out to the 43-yard line. Gurley back in that I formation, Harkey in front of him. I tell you, they are doing an excellent job. Are the Vikings defensively on Gurley? So far, 7 carries and now 22 yards. But if you're a Rams fan, we're not telling you anything you don't know. In 4 games as a starter, slow in the first quarter, and then things continue to ramp up. Gurley leads all NFL rushers in 4th quarter yards per carry.
No one in the second quarter, but the second quarter is terrific. 7.2 yards per carry.
Gurley looking for a hold, dives across midfield. Maybe a yard or two short of a first down, and we check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Titans fired Ken Wisenhunt this week, but they did get Marcus Mariota back from a knee injury. He gets a little help and a little luck from the Saints here. Delaney Walker, and a good block downfield. 61-yard score. One of 2 touchdowns to Walker so far is 21-17 in another high-scoring game in the Dome. Tom, Charles, and Goose.
Another big one going on down there. How about this third down time?
Take it to Gurley. Put it in the hands of Tavon Austin. And I tell you, it's going to be very close. That is a great open field tackle made by Anthony Barr.
I think he's a little bit short here, but don't be surprised at all if the Rams decide to go for it if they get it. But I love your description here. Watch Barr, 55, come from inside out. An outside linebacker who's built like a defensive end and can run and came from inside out to make the tackle that forces a measurement. See Jeff Fisher right now, he's probably up top with Frank Signetti talking about what the potential call is if they do decide to go for it on 4th down.
Well,
what
we initially had Hecker, the punter, coming out. Heck, they just made a 61-yard field goal a moment ago. It wouldn't be all that much longer here if you wanted to do it with the wind at your back. Or do you just go for it if you're short?
See, I think in a game like this, a chance to continue to go and get a touchdown in a tightly contested game is something I would consider very, very forcefully if I'm Jeff Fisher and the Rams, especially the way they've run the football.
They're going for it.
Yeah, with the wind, though, I'm really surprised that he is going for it, because you can really go and bury the Vikings into their own area and really, force them to do whatever they need to get out of there. I mean, with the wind, the way it's affecting the punts, you could completely change the field position.
I think that's a great point, Tony. I think he might be looking at it from the point of view of, since we do have the wind, we better use it to our best advantage on offense. I think your point is well taken, though. You punt it down there, use your defense, but it looks like he's going to try and go ahead and get it.
St. Louis 1 of 4 on 4th down attempts this year. 4th down and less than a foot.
I'd sneak it.
Yep. Which they do. And looks like Foles got it. Didn't need much.
No, it's 6'6", 243. If my guy can't get a little knee bend and a little push forward. And Nick Foles is a very underrated athlete. Coming out of high school, he was one of the top basketball players in his area and had numerous Division I scholarship offers to play hoops. In fact, if you are in the St. Louis Rams camp and Nick Foles says, let's go shoot around a little bit, leave your wallet in your locker, because he's going to take your money.
First down, fake it to Gurley. Good protection. Now Foles in a little bit of trouble, dumps it off to Gurley. And that's a gain of 11 on first down to the 35-yard line. Under 6 minutes to go until halftime.
I love what Nick Foles just did on this play. He came off of his primary guy deep and came back to Todd Gurley because he wanted something deep on the throwback. See how he pulls it down and then takes his eyes to Todd Gurley and throws the pass. But what he wanted downfield was Brian Quick, number 83. Didn't feel he had it because Harrison Smith was back there to deter him.
Didn't look like Gurley was out of bounds, but I think his hair was out of bounds. That's part of his uniform.
That counts.
That counts, exactly.
Foles has hit on 9 of his last 10. And this time they're going to lay it off to Austin. Lots of green in front of him. And he's to the 25-yard line, close to another first down. Appears to have it. It is a first down. They spot him at the 23.
If you watched our pregame show, our colleague Colin Coward did his magic act, didn't he? And he was talking about the different things, and he did this mystical thing. We're seeing some of that magic act in how the Rams are running offense, aren't we? Because they're using 11 Tavon Austin, 30 Todd Gurley as the illusion. Because that's where the focus is going to be, the two primary playmakers. Fake things with them, show them all the time, get it to other people to help make plays as well.
Gurley this time off the left side and not much there. By the way, that last carry, and that's what it was officially, a carry for Tavon Austin on that 12-yard pickup.
Good call on that one, because that forces officials to hustle, doesn't it? you got to get in position to show that it's a lateral, not a forward pass. And you're looking at the ball control stat here. Time of possession virtually even. St. Louis running a few more plays at this point, taking care of the football on this drive.
And the Rams are second to last in the NFL in time of possession this year, so this is a vast improvement from where they have been so far this season. Gurley, met by Greenway, down to the 17-yard line, and a third down upcoming.
And I would dare say that the longer that number 30 Todd Gurley plays, the better their time of possession is going to be, right? The more he gets integrated into the offense, the more he's the primary guy, they should control the ball better, and they have to convert more on third down.
3:40 to go until halftime. They split Gurley to the very top of your screen to the far left of this formation. So empty backfield on third down. Foles steps up, and in the hands, knocked out of the hands of Jared Cook by Andrew Sendejo, and out comes Zerline.
And that's nice coverage by Sendejo, number 34. Okay, so he's going to be here in coverage. Does not retreat much, which is really well done by the defensive back, understanding that you don't have much real estate behind you. So you play everything in front, broke on the football, broke it up.
35-yard attempt by Zerline out of the hold of Hecker. And it is good. So for the first time today, the Rams lead. Fell behind 10-0, and now they lead by 2. Well, the talk all week long. Adrian Peterson, Todd Gurley getting together today. Now we have a lot of football left to go.
And these guys get big yardage through attrition. Simba on your left, Todd Gurley. Mufasa on your right, Adrian Peterson. And both of them get more powerful as the game goes on. Tony, you know those runners, they like rhythm. They like carries. And they lather up and produce as things move on.
Yeah, because you get a feel of the game. You can start reading what they're trying to do defensively. You know where your offensive line, where the alignments are. You know, if a tackle's a little bit wider, you can go and set him up for your offensive lineman. So a lot of those factors happen in that first quarter. That's why we see guys like these two get better as the game goes on.
Yeah, I don't know the last time I was part of an NFL telecast where we had Simba, Mufasa, and Cruella DeVille.
It's a new world out there, Tom.
You're not going to leave on us, are you?
No, I'm watching my career dissolve before my very eyes, but it is what it is.
And how about the guys we're talking about today? That's Adrian Peterson, his first touchdown run of the day. And Todd Gurley, how about him powering through a big hit from Anthony Barr to begin with and finds his way into the end zone. Powerfully built young men who know how to get through the line of scrimmage.
So McLeod's going to hold it. That win is a big-time factor. And we'll see as we move into the second half if it's a game-changing factor. Up to the 20 is Patterson, and we check in with Mike Hill back in Los Angeles.
Raiders and Steelers. Raiders got this rookie named Amari Cooper. He's pretty good, but maybe the Steelers forgot about him. He's wide open. Gives his team a 14-11 lead. Could be the rookie of the year, but of course you guys have a guy who might have something to say about that. Simba, Mufasa, back to you.
It's trending right now, Tom. You see how that stuff works?
You know.
See that's Rafiki sending it back to us. So we're all set there.
Wow.
Thank you, Mike.
He's not going to like that.
Oh, come on. Rafiki was the wise man. He's the guy who had all the knowledge.
Peterson in the backfield. They give it to him on first down. And across the 30. And across the 35 is Adrian Peterson.
This is why you never give up on the run game, right? Attrition. Watch how things break here. As you see the snap, you'll see everybody just kind of get into the middle, and he finds the one crease, and then his eyes find the cutback. And look at the move he puts there on Mark Barron, who's played so well in recent weeks with his move to linebacker. But what a nice gap he had initially, and then excellent vision to take him away from the tackler.
Peterson again. And not much running room this time on first down. Peterson grew up in Palestine, Texas, 30 years old. Had his third 100-yard rushing game of this season last week in Chicago. 45th of his career. And he believes he has another 8, 9, 10 years left in him.
Yeah, he was talking about 40 years old.
40 years old.
And then he backed it down. He said, well, maybe 37, 38, which would be amazing. Marcus Allen went to 37, I believe.
Second down and 8. Bridgewater had a wide open receiver and hurried the throw. And I mean wide open was Mike Wallace.
And he had wide open running room as well, Tom. He had two options on this play. One, go ahead and keep running the football. Watch Teddy Bridgewater, nice in the pocket, eyes downfield. Watch him climb the pocket and exit. So he's got an option to either run it to the right and continue outside for yardage, or as Tom pointed out, a wide open receiver inside, and he really missed the throw.
Third down and 8. This play will take us to the 2-minute warning.
We go express.
5-man rush. Bridgewater finds Wallace, and a really nice tackle made by Rodney McLeod. So the Rams are going to get the ball back. We reach a 2-minute warning. You can get apps, video, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. In honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and the Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit ML.com/salute. Off the foot of Jeff Locke. Good punt this time by Locke into that stiff wind. It's down at the 15-yard line. Give you an idea, as Foles and the Rams will come out with 1:45 to play and 2 timeouts remaining until halftime. From 60 yards or longer, there have only been 15 field goals made in the history of the NFL. Greg Zuerlein now has done it twice. The only other player in the history of the game to do it twice, besides Zuerlein, is Oakland kicker Sebastian Janikowski.
That's impressive company, because I would have thought Jason Elam might be in there. You know?
Oh yeah,
he had one, right? That was in Denver, I would presume.
The longest field goal in the history of the NFL is Matt Prater. First down, it is Tavon Austin picking up 13, and they'll move the chains. And that was kicking for Denver at home against Tennessee back in December of 2013, a 64-yarder.
I don't care if you have altitude or not. That's a big shot.
Huge, huge.
But how about the way the Rams are running offense, guys? Everything has to do with number 30 and number 11 and what you can do playing off of those two.
1:39 to play until halftime. Gurley just been bottled up all day today.
I think that defense in front of Minnesota is doing a very nice job with the offensive line of St. Louis. What do you think, Tony?
Excellent job. They're keeping their shoulders square. They're moving down the line of scrimmage. They're staying up on their field. And then the linebackers, everybody's running to the ball. It's a team effort there on the defensive side for Minnesota.
Well, now the Vikings are the one that are going to spend a timeout, maybe hoping to get the ball back one more time. How about a Kurt Menefee?
So in history, servicemen and women from the U.S. Army Reserve will join us with Veterans Day just a few days away. We've also got highlights from the early games, and you know it's always fun whenever Terry Steelers take on Howie's Raiders.
And for the first time in a long time, thanks to all of you, I feel completely safe. Thank you.
Back to you.
You are safe indeed. Surrounding with anybody in the United States of America military.
Yes. Definitely safe.
Second down. And here comes Tavon Austin again. And puts a move, breaks a tackle. And all the way to midfield is Austin.
I think as much as we're seeing with misdirection and different things, it's really basic, guys. Either 30's going to touch it 11's going to touch it, or they're going to fake it to him and go to someone else. That's how much attention those two are drawing. Austin and Gurley, they're everything for the St. Louis Rams. So when you fake it to them, the defense has to respect it. Other people, this is your chance to step up and fill the breach. This is your chance to make plays, because those guys are going to get all the light.
It's a season-long 22-yard gain as a runner for Tavon Austin. And he has 48 now rushing yards on just 5 attempts. And it's not like his first time they've given it to him. He had 17 carries on the year coming into the game today.
And I think one of the reasons that the Rams eventually traded up for him in the first round, and really that was precedent setting, because you don't trade up for Smurfs, okay? But they did it because remember that game at West Virginia and Oklahoma, he ran for 300 yards from the tailback slot? That showed them all the extra possibilities that existed with Tavon Austin.
The Rams burn a timeout, 1 left. Take it both ways, and wide open down the middle of the field, Lance Kendricks, 5th-year tight end out of Wisconsin. And he's to the 30-yard line, under a minute to go by the time they snap it.
I mean, Nick Foles is going to have a magician's name before the day's over with all these different fakes for these guys. All the illusion that's being created by this offense. But right now, Frank Cignetti is on to something as a coordinator. And just as you described, Tom, and here's Kendricks lining up at tight end. What did we just say? If you're someone else on this offense with all the attention with Gurley and Austin, your opportunities are going to be there. Will you capitalize? Well, Lance Kendricks was wide open on that play.
A 20-yard reception by Kendricks, the hero in week 1, the stunner in overtime against Seattle. And now looking for the end zone, and nearly intercepted. That's outstanding coverage by Xavier Rhodes.
This is an example of not panicking as a cover guy. Right at the top, watch Rhodes, because it's coming right at him, and he's going to get his back to the quarterback, and then he gets his head back around to find the football. See how he pins the receiver Britt to the sideline so he knows exactly where he is, gets his head around, finds the football, and breaks up the pass.
47 seconds remain, an important 3rd down and 10. That's Marquez, and again, that is just an excellent open field tackle by the 10-year veteran out of Iowa, Chad Greenway. Clock continuing to run, and they'll let it probably get down to about 5 seconds. That's a spread game clock and play clock, maybe 4 seconds before the Rams will burn their final timeout.
Not quite in the red zone, but this is exactly what you would want if you're Minnesota. If you give up anything, it's a field goal attempt inside of 2 minutes and playing their 2-minute defense.
There's a timeout by Jeff Fisher. 3 seconds to play until halftime. We'll take a quick break. Zerline will try and add to the Rams' lead.
Jeff Fisher is so cool that he doesn't even need to say timeout to get it. Look at that, just a little nod.
That's him, man.
You know what I want. Give it to me. You know, guys, when you're on a flight and you're sitting in an exit row and they come and ask if you are willing to help and all that, you have to verbally say yes, otherwise the flight attendant won't walk away.
Yeah.
Jeff Fisher doesn't need to say yes. Jeff Fisher just nods and, okay, you got it, coach. We're good.
It's the way it is with Siragusa, though. He just gives a nod when he's sitting up front cabin. Yeah, give me another one of those. 2 out of 2 today is Zerline. And now the Vikings will spend a timeout. Gives us a moment to tell you tonight on Fox, the return of Sunday Funday. All new night of smash hits, an electrifying comedy. Sunday Funday tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, right here on Fox.
Quite an eclectic lineup there, too. It's not just animation domination anymore. We're mixing it in now at Fox. Well, animation, some live stuff, rolling. About some of the stars. I saw Will Fort back there. We got some people working. Here we go, big kick.
45-yard field goal tries. Erline 2 out of 2 today, one from 61 yards away. And this one right down the middle. 3 of 3 for Erline today, who had missed 6 times on the year coming into this game. It is 15-10 at halftime. The Rams over Teddy Bridgewater and Minnesota. Lisa, halftime coming up right around the corner. You're watching the NFL on Fox. Back after these messages. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Right from the get-go on this gorgeous Sunday in Minneapolis, all the talk about Peterson and Gurley. Both did manage a touchdown. Peterson 51 yards rushing. Gurley the second leading rusher for his team. Only 34 yards, but he too has a touchdown. For the first half belonged to Greg Zuerlein. 3 out of 3, including a 61-yard field goal with the wind in his back. That's today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Charles Davis, Tony Siragusa, Tom Brenneman, our entire crew back in Minneapolis. We figured a low-scoring game, 2 very good defenses, and so far it has been Nick Foles who has outplayed Bridgewater, and that's been the difference in the game.
A little more accurate throwing the football. A big shot that he took with Kenny Britt downfield. He'd missed one earlier, didn't take it, got it on the second one. But I thought St. Louis was way more consistent on offense, moving the ball, especially in the second quarter. For Minnesota, they haven't had a takeaway in their last 2 games. I think that's critical for their defense to try and generate a big play in order to help out their offense.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater and company will get the football to begin the second half. Mike Zimmer's Vikings started the year at 2 up, 2 down. They've ripped off 3 wins in a row. Well, they trail as we begin the third quarter, 15-10. Patterson had a pretty quiet year, but a nice return here. And let's see if he stepped out of bounds. He did not. He dives for it and returns that one all the way up to the 47-yard line. Let's check in downstairs with Tony.
Hey, Tom, how are you? You know, it's pretty funny. We talked about how similar both of these teams are. Coaches also. I really wanted to talk to one of the coaches. Jeff Fisher said, the thing we got to do is just keep them off balance, all the misdirection. That's helping us out a lot. Stick with the run game. Zimmer, we got to capitalize on opportunities, and we're going to stick with the run game also. So both of these coaches, same philosophy. They want to do the same things. It's pretty ironic.
So Peterson in the backfield. Really 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A play fake. Bridgewater steps up and finds Rudolph, the tight end. He sidesteps one tackle and turns it into a nice gain to the 39-yard line. He just sort of shoved aside the much smaller Janoris Jenkins. Of those numbers, total yards in the game, Minnesota had just 41 yards of offense in the second quarter.
I think they only ran 11 plays in the second quarter. St. Louis controlled the football, controlled the clock, kept it away from Minnesota, and of course kept it out of the hands of number 28, wearing purple.
Sit.
Peterson beautifully picking up the pass rush. And a throw to the end zone. A penalty flag is down. He was trying to throw it to Diggs. Coming away with the ball is Johnson, but again we wait on the flag.
And I'm interested to see who this goes on, because there's a lot of hand fighting between the receiver and the defensive back. That ball was underthrown and Diggs was trying to come back and get it.
Diggs was shaken up. He does get to his feet.
See Diggs on the outside, closest to you. Number 14 wearing the dark jersey. And he and Tremaine Johnson fight for the football, and Johnson comes down with it. I'm eager to see who they throw this flag on, because personally, I don't think there should be a flag. It should just be a nice play by Johnson taking the ball away. I think they both fought for it, both hand
Pass
fight.
interference. Defense. Number 22.
Well, let's hang on a minute here now. Charles, I think you're on to something here.
I think really Diggs was trying to get back inside Johnson, and Johnson had better position, and both made a play on the football. See that? They're both going at each other right there, Tom.
Well, let's bring in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, I know you were turned around looking at the camera now. Well, now we're going to give the final verdict.
Correction, it's offensive pass interference. 10 yards, previous stop, replay first down.
Are you surprised by that call, Mike? I think they just initially announced it wrong to begin with, don't you?
Well, I think they still have some more announcing to do, because wasn't it an interception in the end zone? Is that what they ruled?
Yes.
So I think if it's an interception, they're going to have to go and decline the penalty for St. Louis to keep the ball if it's offensive pass interference. But, you know, this is the hardest call on the field to make, and I always looked at these and called them a standoff. You know, one person's got position, the other turns into him.
The offensive pass interference will be declined. It will be St. Louis's ball, first down on the 20-yard line.
Tell you what, Mike, hold that thought a second. We're going to take a quick timeout and come back to you, because it should be interesting to hear you talking about, as an official on the field, having to make this call. Ball belongs to the Rams.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Burger King, introducing new Buffalo chicken fries, a better way to Buffalo. By AARP, real possibilities. And by K Jewelers, every kiss begins with K.
It was initially ruled defensive pass interference as Johnson secured the football for an interception. Charles, you thought they might pick this up and go the other way, which is precisely what they did, ruling pass interference instead on Stephon Diggs. Penalty declined, obviously, by the Rams. So they get the ball on first down, and let's go back to Mike Pereira after the stop by Linval Joseph. You were saying, Mike, it's a tough call to make.
Hardest call on the field to make. I think it's more of a standoff, because the defensive player had position and the offensive player turned into him. I think it was a good discussion. I'd have been actually fine with nothing, with neither offense or defense or defensive pass interference on the play.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. And to me, that's the same as in basketball. The block charge, very, very difficult for the officials.
Coming on the blitz was Sendejo, forcing Foles to step up in the pocket, and there again is Linval Joseph. Second week in a row he's having a monster game.
The Vikings are getting way more aggressive now. Here's Sendejo coming on the blitz, because they've been reading. See, in the halftime, when you talk about adjustments, all that faking in the backfield, the illusion, the motion, it takes time. So Mike Zimmer said, okay, you want to take time? I'm going to run people at you and disrupt that timing. And that's what he did with Sendejo, and Linval Joseph is playing like a full-grown man today.
Well, it's third down and a mile, and remember now, we talked so much about the wind. They might be punting into this wind in a moment, and they're going to be punting into the wind. First catch, second of the day, first of the second half by Stedman Bailey. So 3 and out after the interception.
And the wind that Tony has brought to our attention is really coming into play now, because this should help field position in a big way for Minnesota, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. It should, but right now it's calmed down a little bit. I mean, we haven't seen a good punt out of this end zone so far. Let's see what we get here.
Line drive punt. Takes a favorable bounce for the Rams. Penalty flag down.
They read the punter. Really got blocked aggressively.
Big time.
Kicking team, number 44. Minnesota's elected to take the penalty, replay fourth down, half the distance to the goal.
That's a long snapper, Jake McQuaid.
You see right there. Wow, that's a big hit.
Daniil Hunter.
The rookie out of LSU who's played very well. That's Mike Prefer. with his back to you right there. He's the special teams coach of the Vikings. And boy, since he's been there,
10 yards from the previous spot, replay 4th down.
Since he's been there, the Vikings special teams have really picked up, haven't they, Tom?
Well, they've had 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns, 3 punt returns for touchdowns. They blocked 2 punts, returned them for touchdowns. This year, they're first in the league covering punts. So Prefer has done an excellent job.
And how about St. Louis? Another special team penalty. They're in double digits this year. Tied for 4th most in the NFL. The league average is 8. This is I believe, their 12th special team penalty of the year.
Now punting out of his own end zone is Hecker. A very short punt, but again, a very good bounce. Sherrill's from a 33, and he'll step out of bounds across the 40. Only 3 minutes into this 3rd quarter. It's a tight one. Peterson and the Vikings on the short end of a 15-10 game. Nick Foles and the Rams 3 and out after the takeaway interception in the end zone by Tremaine Johnson. Wind at their back. Good field position for Minnesota. Starting this drive from its own 40. Peterson looking for a hole. Not much of one there, but does plow forward for a gain of 4.
That was that unbalanced line again there, Charles, where they have everybody on the right side.
Yeah, I'll try and go with that with one college program I covered called the barge formation. Look at today's leaders. Bridgewater 98 yards passing. Peterson 55 yards rushing. Kyle Rudolph with a couple catches and one nifty move on the sideline on his last catch. You can see where that offseason yoga and stretching has come in play for him. See the leaders for the Rams on the other side. Norris Jenkins, a very aggressive corner.
Bridgewater all day to throw. And the catch is made by Stephon Diggs, his first big reception of the day.
Because of all the time that you noted, Tom, it allowed Diggs all the way to the top on the outside, number 14, to essentially make 2 moves. See how he runs that whip route? He takes Jenkins inside, and he's able to come back outside because of the protection. That allowed Bridgewater enough time to find him and step up and make the throw. Getting away from Janoris Jenkins is not easy, but Diggs did an excellent job getting into a break, getting out of it, and getting away from the defender.
Diggs' season is going a lot like fellow rookie Todd Gurley. Diggs did not play the first 3 games of the season. He has been lights out over the last 4 weeks. And now a penalty flag. Called delay of game here.
I think everyone stopped when they thought the Rams might have jumped into the neutral zone. No flag on that.
There is no foul for delay of game on the play. Please rest at the play clock. 25 seconds, please.
That's because the official, the back judge, was looking at a play clock at the open end of the stadium, which said the play clock was at 0. The play clock at the other end had 17 seconds left.
So we need a little synchronization.
Yes.
Okay.
Peterson, his 13th carry, and this is a big one. Just wrapped up a touchdown saving tackle made by Rodney McLeod, where Peterson finds the end zone after a 13-yard gain.
Tony, when everyone's stacked up near the line of scrimmage, you can make a big play, or if there's a crease, a big play can come against you, correct?
Absolutely. You know, Aaron Donald on that play came upfield a little bit too much. He has to identify that it was a run play and stay on that line of scrimmage. With his penetration, he gave him a crease, and that's why you saw that run right there.
Yeah, if you have 8 or 9 up there, it's hard to block, but if you find any opening, there's plenty of distance once you clear the line of scrimmage.
Peterson again, and coming down the line and making the tackle is Laurinaitis. We talked about James grew up in this area. Minnesota's Mr. Defensive Football is a high school senior. Out at Plymouth Wayzata High School, led his team to a state championship, also a great hockey player, but left here to go to Columbus, Ohio and play for the Buckeyes. That's one that got away.
In a big way, and he would have been a centerpiece of a recruiting class, helped set a tone, and it's always tough because Minnesota needs to keep those kids here to supply their program. And they go to places like Ohio State and come back. It's almost unfair having to play against their own great players.
Bridgewater Throws to McKinnon out of the backfield. It's a first down. First and goal, Minnesota. Down to the 7-yard line.
But this is where the Rams all year have been very impressive.
I beg your pardon here. This is a third down upcoming after the penalty a moment ago.
Red zone defense. Because if you're Minnesota, you've got to think touchdown. You've got to have everything go into getting the ball in the end zone. Not many people have done that against the Rams this year. They are the kings of making you kick field goals. One of the reasons they're on a nice winning streak right now.
1 of 5 on third down today are the Vikings. Third down and 2. They need to get inside the 5 for a first down. They're going to throw it. Bridgewater will run it straight to the touchdown. He ran for 7. He could have run for 107.
And this is not what he wants to do. Watch how the play unfolds. He wants to throw it, but this is it. Look at this. Stop right there. Look at the gap he has to the end zone. He can't do anything but take that and run it in. And he understood how valuable it was for Minnesota to get into the end zone. And now with that score, they're going to go for 2.
And really all of this started when Jeff Fisher elected to go for 2 on the first Rams touchdown.
It changes up your play chart because most of the time you don't start going for 2 until you absolutely need to. But in a game that's this tight, points are at a premium, Minnesota will go for it.
Peterson in the backfield. They fake it to Peterson. It's a play that worked early in the game for him. Bridgewater's going to run it. And Teddy dives in to convert the 2-point play and make it a 3-point lead. That's a pretty nice run right there by Bridgewater.
And he does not need to be Russell Wilson or any of those other running quarterbacks, but when the gap is there, he needs to use his legs, as we've just seen.
This game is sponsored by Fallout 4, the next generation of open world gaming, available on November 10th.
Well, we expected a good football game. No game is pretty, start to finish. There have been some ups and downs for both teams on offense in this one, but there have been ups and downs for both teams all year long on offense. They live and die primarily by the run game and a great defense. 18-15, 8:39 to go in the third quarter.
And how about Teddy Bridgewater? He's turning 23 on Tuesday, but playing like a 10-year veteran. Look at him get in the end zone on the 2-point play.
We have called Linval Joseph's names plenty of time today, coming off arguably his best game of the year against Chicago last week. 7 tackles, tackled for a loss, hit the quarterback Jay Cutler 3 times. Having an excellent game today, and his team has just taken a lead. Gurley leaps over the potential tackler, Terrence Newman, but a minimal game.
I think Mike Zimmer, the head coach who also calls the defenses, came out after the half with a concerted effort, concerted idea of, look, you can run all the misdirection you want, but I'm going to attack on every play now. Harrison Smith came from his safety position and forced that play quickly before they were able to spill the play at the end of it. You notice on just about every play now, Tom and Tony, someone from Minnesota is coming as at least 1 extra rusher, sometimes 2. Because when you're doing all that misdirection, you're doing all that changing, turning your back and faking, that takes time. And Minnesota wants to disrupt that timing and force the issue a lot quicker.
Yeah, gives extra time for those guys up front to get that pass rush and get that penetration that they need to.
Terrence Newman took Gurley's foot to his head when he came up to make that tackle. Second down completion up to the 25-yard line. It's Kendricks. Terrence Newman has played good football for a long, long time, and most of it playing for Mike Zimmer.
37-year-old corners are not supposed to exist, let alone play at the level we're watching from Terrence Newman this year.
Foles going to go right after the man who replaced Newman. That's Waynes, and it's incomplete on the throw to Kenny Britt. Wayne's a #1 pick this year out of Michigan State.
And watch the coverage, because this is how Trey Waynes played at Michigan State. Just about everything he did was from a press corner position and very aggressive through a receiver. St. Louis may argue he was there a little bit quicker, but the officials let him play on that one, and that felt like home to Trey Waynes from his college experience.
Well, between Denard and Wayne, a couple of #1 picks the last 2 years playing for Mark D'Antonio.
Hard to move the ball through the air. They call themselves the no-fly zone.
A rare fair catch by Sherrills at the 28-yard line. Bridgewater doing it on the ground to give his team a lead. He gets the football when we return. 18-15, Minnesota in front. Midway through this third quarter. Teddy Bridgewater and the Vikings starting this drive from a 28-yard line. They'll hand it to Peterson. And he is thrown down after a gain of 2.
How about the last drive for Teddy Bridgewater? Came alive, big pass to Stephon Diggs. Started to loosen things up for the big horse, Adrian Peterson. But how about Teddy Bridgewater using his legs for the touchdown and then the 2-point conversion to put Minnesota back in the lead? Mike Zimmer, his coach, has talked about sometimes Teddy overthinks things because he's so analytical. He wants him to quit thinking and just go play. And when he just plays, good things tend to result. Well, I think we saw that in the last drive.
Pretty nice throw right there and a pretty nice catch in traffic by Stephon Diggs. Maybe a yard or 2 short of another first down.
And Minnesota has the wind at their back. With 6:39 and counting going down towards the end of the quarter. They need to take advantage of it with this drive. Diggs made a nice catch, as you noted. How about the body control? The stop, come back inside, gain additional yardage. He has been a find in the 5th round for the Minnesota Vikings out of Maryland.
So he ran into a little bit of trouble in his junior year of college. He was one of the most heavily recruited wide receivers in the country coming out of high school in Maryland. Decided to stay home and play collegiately in Maryland. Flag down on 3rd down and a yard. And we wait on the penalty. Minnesota, the least penalized team in regard to yards.
I think they got him to jump again.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Results, no first down.
You know, we talk about being a team that's not penalized much, and I think for a lot of us out there, you know, kind of roll our eyes, say big deal. But when you watch plays like this, it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal because you're getting free plays, free yardage without having to butt your head up into the wall. And you know something else? We're also seeing the continued maturation of Teddy Bridgewater as a quarterback because his cadence all game long has given the Rams a bunch of problems. We've seen how many times that they've jumped now. Give credit to the young quarterback for varying what he's doing and getting them to put jump off sides.
So the penalty gives him a first down. Peterson cut it back to the inside, and that's where he ran into Matt Longacre. Just activated for this game this week. They're excited about him.
Made the team as an undrafted free agent out of Northwest Missouri. A Division II school with a great tradition of football. They play awfully well. Short arm guy, and you know they always talk about these measurements at the combine. Does he have the arms long enough to make a play and all that? All he did was make plays since he got to the Rams. It just brought him off the practice squad. I talked to someone from the Rams organization before the game, and it's like, he may be a surprise to everyone else, but the way he's played, he's earned his way here. And he's going to play some ball for us today.
Well, that time it was Aaron Donald all over Teddy Bridgewater, who managed to just get it away. NFL's Defensive Rookie of the Year a season ago was Donald.
And Donald right in the middle of your picture there.
Great inside fake and then the outside rush, keeping it nice and tight.
Went to the Pro Bowl and was named All-Pro, I believe, as a rookie.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive for a guy coming out as go 13th pick in the first round out of Pitt.
Well, especially out of Pitt. It's really impressive.
Do we know any defensive tackles out of Pitt?
A lot of impressive guys coming out of that school. A lot of them.
3rd down, Bridgewater finds a backup tight end. That is Pruitt. There is a penalty flag down behind the line of scrimmage. It's like holding against Minnesota.
Like
actually,
Aaron
there are
Donald
2 flags.
Tackled on that one.
Holding. Offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
No,
They
Aaron
will
Donald.
start short of the first down there, and they're going to make them replay third down.
See Aaron Donald working number 99 on Joe Berger, the center, who's filled in this year for John Sullivan, who was hurt. And you see that he forced him into the hold as he got around him, and Berger hooked him with his arm. But I think the reason that he took this penalty, Jeff Fisher did, is because of the wind. It's so hard to run the offense going into it that he wants the Vikings to have to go further deeper in their own territory, and hopefully he'll gain some advantage when they get the ball back.
Well, roughly it's about a 15-yard decision to make him do it again. 3rd and 18, because it would have been 4th and 3. And now Bridgewater in trouble, just throws it away. So ultimately it turns out well, at least theoretically, as Bridgewater is down at the 20-yard line.
He took a big hit at the end of the play. I think it was William Hayes who caught him at the end with the big pop. Let's see. Because he kept the play alive and extended it. But you know the Rams, they pursue hard. See, the way things have gone this year, anything low on a quarterback has drawn a lot of extra attention and scrutiny. And that's what Mike Zimmer is upset about. The quarterback here getting caught late. I mean, we saw it a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yep.
Atlanta and Tennessee. Anything down in the lower body of the quarterback.
Tennessee and Miami on the hit on Mariota.
But we also saw it in our game.
Right.
in that same game where they made a call. We were wondering about it, but we thought that was the genesis. Anything low is usually brings out a flag and definitely increased scrutiny.
Well, the hit on Mariota drew a $37,000 fine
because there were 2 of them.
Sliding down at the 20-yard line is Tavon Austin. And the only reason they don't throw one here is because he is out of the pocket.
He becomes a runner. And one thing about Teddy Bridgewater, you know, one of the most underrated aspects to the young man is his toughness. People look at him, you know, he's got a great smile. He doesn't look like he's a huge guy. When he was at Louisville, he took shots. He played with high ankle sprains, broken wrists, the whole thing to rally his team to a Sugar Bowl. I don't worry much about his toughness at all.
So now the Rams with the football. Turn around and hand it to Gurley. Normally the second half is when he's just getting warmed up. And granted, that might turn out to be true, but it cannot be denied. This Minnesota defense has been more than geared up to face Todd Gurley so far here today. 13 carries, only 34 rushing yards.
And you remember, Sharif Floyd, one of their starting defensive tackles, is not playing today. Tom Johnson's been filling in very well. But to me, the story inside has been Linval Joseph, number 98 from Minnesota.
So Minnesota, the only team in the NFL holding their opponents to 23 points or fewer in every game this season. Now Foles avoiding trouble. Launches a long ball, and dropping the pass is Tavon Austin. Should have been a huge play. Penalty flag behind the line of scrimmage.
And Austin is going to work his way free because Foles kept the play alive.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, defense number 98 with a blow to the quarterback's head. It's a 15-yard penalty. An automatic first down.
And that was just a pure drop by Austin and the correct call by the officials. Because Austin dropped it.
I don't think Joseph hit his head.
But he was way up in the neck shoulder area, and you know what happens with those, Tony. They're going to come after him in a big way because it came in awfully high.
Right now, Austin is limping off the sideline, and that is not good news for the Rams. One of the 2 major playmakers in this offense, along with Gurley, who gets the ball. And pretty much a story all day, not much room. Let's go back to the Foles hit by Linval Joseph.
Let's take a look at the end of the play because Foles keeps things alive as he comes back towards you and then releases it downfield. See the forearm right up there under the chin.
All right, under the chin is okay. Can't go to the head, though.
Right.
I don't know.
And there at the end of the play, another drop by a Rams receiver, this time Tavon Austin.
I just like to see that, you know, you worry about the safety of players. I mean, it's got to be for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. On the quarterbacks, you're looking around the neck, and obviously the head. Second down and 8.
Easy. Cross border.
Early. Tries to cut it back to the inside, and Robinson with a nice tackle. Let's go to Los Angeles.
Rams and Vikings, a flashback to the 70s. So too are the Steelers and Raiders, and it's a good one as well. Derek Carr, Clyde Walford, 1-yard score. They're tied at 21 in the Berg in the third. Tom, Charles, and Goose.
That is old school,
Isn't it? And both of them relevant. That's the best part about watching it.
The Raiders are having an excellent year.
The Steelers are tough to beat at home, though.
Yep. Except they did get run by Cincinnati, I remind Tony, on a 3rd down and 7.
Oh, yeah.
And into the hands on the far side to Stedman Bailey. But that was sniffed out beautifully.
We talk about that open field tackling, Charles. We've seen it all day long.
No retreat on the play, Tony, because out to the right of your screen is where the play is going to happen. And Munnerlyn reads it, comes underneath before the blocker can get there, because on those quick screens, you often run blockers out from the line of scrimmage, from the interior line. He came underneath it before anyone could get there and spilled the play.
Outstanding punt by Hecker. We haven't seen many going in that direction against that stiff wind. The notorious Conor McGregor has taken over this season of The Ultimate Fighter, and
they call me an instigator.
What the?
A troublemaker. A wild card and a rebel.
Don't get smacked like a...
So don't miss an all-new Ultimate Fighter Wednesdays, only on FS1.
I think you've just given him a new nickname. The notorious CMG.
There
or
you go.
CMC.
He might
however
like
you
that.
want to do it.
He might like that.
He might have that. Interim champion.
Peterson with penalty flags coming down, picks up close to 4 on 1st down, maybe 3.
Holding. Offense number 61. Half the distance to the goal. Replay 1st down.
That's Joe Berger, the center, who's replacing the injured John Sullivan.
So right now the interior guys on both sides are struggling, because you're dealing with Linval Joseph, the defensive tackle from Minnesota, who's wrecking the front of St. Louis. Then flip it around, and Joe Berger's having a really tough time because Aaron Donald is doing work in there now.
Beautiful play made by Barron, former #1 pick of Tampa Bay. Right around this time a year ago, they made the trade to the Rams to get him.
There's so much for playing safety anymore. Watch to the right of your screen and watch him just appear. Number 26, and look at that. That's just straight ahead pursuit, read the play, came through an open gap, and finished it off.
When you have 9 guys in the box, you can't account for everybody.
That will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Minnesota getting the touchdown run by Bridgewater, capped it off running for a 2-point conversion. And it's a 3-point lead. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Well, we understand that Tavon Austin is suffering from some cramps down there. Trying to work through that, and I would expect him to come back. We shall see.
How about the device he's got on his hand?
Looks like a club right there.
I don't know if that's heat. I don't know if that's heat, ice, you know, cold that he's trying to get in there, but he's trying to work that out. So he's got a couple of injuries he's trying to work through.
Vikings raced out to a 10-0 lead. The Rams would come back with 12 unanswered points, 15 unanswered points. Getting that final field goal before the half, and the only score in the 3rd quarter, a Minnesota touchdown. Penalty flag down. Pitch made by McKinnon in the backfield, and the crowd applauding the initial signal already against the Rams.
Holding. Defense number 22 prior to the pass. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's a big play, the automatic first down.
It is, because they'd had a nice play on first down. Rams had a little bit of an advantage going into second and long. This is Tremaine Johnson, 22, covering Stephon Diggs. And that's a quick, I tell you what, that's a quick one, because that sure didn't look like much of a hold. Looked like he had his hands on him and he let him go. That's a tough one for me. Different angle than the official had for me, but that's a tough one.
It would have been a third down and 11. Flag down again. Rams have been penalized 8 times, the Vikings 5.
Defense number 95. 5-yard penalty.
That's William Hayes, who's filling in today, and now for the 3rd week in a row for the injured Chris Long.
Not sure what he's watching in terms of the get off, because the way his head was positioned, it certainly did not appear that his eyes were towards the football to be able to see the ball snapped. It's like he was anticipating and he got out ahead of it, and another jump by the front of the St. Louis Rams.
So you gave him an automatic first down with a penalty a moment ago. Now you give him a 1st and 5 to work with. And Peterson will get 3, close to 4 on the first down carry.
Now, one of the things about penalties, very aggressive, attacking, good defenses often have a lot of penalties. Am I correct, Tony Siragusa?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Aggressiveness means penalties.
Tony, did you guys have a lot of penalties on those great defenses in Baltimore?
Yeah, we did. We did. I mean, I don't know if we'd like to lead, but, you got to go after them. I mean, the cadences have changed since I played, and we have had great defenses. But, I mean, teams go into a game with 4, 5, 6 different cadences.
Well, we didn't have that. That's one for Joyner where you wonder why. Yeah. There was no doubt about it that Bridgewater was going to slide, and Mike Zimmer is hot, and you can't blame him. He is really hot. And you know what? You can't blame him. This is a dirty play.
15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic down.
You see him starting his slide. You don't see Joyner totally pulling off. It's almost like at the end, he's trying to turn at the end, but it's too late. He's already launched. And when you see a quarterback going into the slide, everyone knows that's the universal pull off, and LaMarcus Joyner did not.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. By McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. And by Sprint.
Well, Joyner, the big hit, drawing a penalty on Teddy Bridgewater, who's still being looked at by the medical staff of the Minnesota Vikings.
And you see Teddy making the slide, so he's got time to pull off. That's where LaMarcus Joyner made his mistake. It's the universal. When the quarterback goes into a slide, everyone knows you got to lay off of him. No sense in me even launching, and it wasn't so late that he couldn't have pulled off on that play.
Sean Hill certainly has been one of the better backups in this league for a long time. This guy can throw the football. First pass thrown is fumbled and then recovered by Stephon Diggs.
Heads up play by Stephon Diggs on that one.
And
that's why you run to the ball. Just right here is exactly why.
And one of the issues Adrian Peterson has had this year has been ball security. And the Rams talked about that with us in our meetings. Look at Akeem Ayers going for the football, popping it free.
Out of bounds.
Very fortunate is Minnesota that the Rams did not get the ball, because number 31, Maurice Alexander, didn't see the football. It went right past him. And great hustle by Stephon Diggs to keep possession for Minnesota.
Sean Hill, his 14th season out of Maryland. He started 8 games for the Rams last year. Well, they might want to get some stickum on those hands for Adrian Peterson. That's 2 in a row.
And it's very interesting because Adrian Peterson notoriously is known as the guy you don't want to shake hands with because of his grip. Yet, in these situations, those mitts are not holding on to the football.
So, guys, real quick, Teddy Bridgewater is on his way to the locker room. He's being evaluated for a concussion. We'll see what happens.
That was a clean handoff that Adrian Peterson did not put away successfully.
You can understand why Mike Zimmer is really upset. I mean, that's the kind of play that can send your season off the rails. They've won 3 in a row. Get the personal foul penalty. And now your quarterback has to leave the game with 13 minutes left to play. 3rd down and 3, incomplete. That was a big fumble by Peterson. Both on the catch, because he probably gets a first down.
Yep.
And then on a 3rd down and 2, he fumbles on a play again where he probably gets a first down.
I think if Mike Zimmer right now, what he's thinking is he's going to rally his defense at this point and say, the game's in your hands. Okay, Bridgewater's out. It's time for you guys to carry us home for this week, and we'll worry about Teddy after this thing's over.
That's another ugly punt by Jeff Locke. 12:01 to play. Right in front of Tony Siragusa, this drive begins. Rams trailing by 3. And they come back the other way, and it looks like Tavon Austin is A-OK. Because that's a big run, and he's down again. Love to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching our game today in 175 countries aboard ships at sea on AFN, the American Forces Network. God bless you all. Thank you for all you do, standing tall, proud, and strong for still the greatest country in the world. A 20-yard run. Austin by far their leading carrier today, although Gurley trying to get loose here, caught from behind by Griffin. And that's down to the 40-yard line. Let's send it back to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Tennessee had scored 3 touchdowns in their previous 4 games. This is why Ken Whisenhunt isn't there anymore. They've got 3 touchdowns today, all passes from Marcus Mariota. That one to Justin Hunter tied it at 28 in New Orleans. Tom, Charles, and Goose.
Well, New Orleans better score about 42 a night.
That's kind of where they are.
Yep, that's where they are.
Where they are.
Yep.
And there's something special about that kid in Tennessee, isn't there?
I know you love him.
And he's playing to it. 3 touchdown passes today, his first game back after missing a couple with the knee.
We'll see him next weekend against Cam Newton and the Panthers. Last check, Carolina had a big lead over the Green Bay Packers, and all of a sudden the Packers look pretty human these last 2 weeks.
It's hard for people to believe. In the last 4 weeks, the Green Bay Packers offense rank 30th in the league. Green Bay Packers. I mean, when I got that stat, I went back and looked it up twice. Blew me away.
Gurley only 54 rushing yards, but we've talked about his best running so far in this his rookie year, coming the 4th and final quarter. Foles hit as he throws. Boy, that was an ugly hit too. Didn't appear to be a late hit, but that was a big hit.
And that was a full pressure package by Mike Zimmer. Watch the number of purple jerseys coming out. Here comes Audie Cole, 57 as well. But the hit came from behind him. Is that Linval Joseph again, 98?
Yep.
Boy, has he been a player today.
Been a player all year.
Yeah, Pro Bowl's back in Hawaii. He might as well start making some reservations.
Only 2 of 11 by the Rams on 3rd down. They're the worst in the NFL coming into this game. And 0 for their last 7. And it looks like there's communication issues again inside Nick Foles' helmet.
Well, they did reset the play clock for him.
Need to get to the 30. Foles gets it away, or are they saying he's in the grasp? Penalty flag is down. That's going to be grounding.
No doubt.
Everson Griffin, what a move he pulls.
And here's Griffin here,
Yep.
Tony.
Watch the spin move back inside. Chop, spin, directly to the court. Perfect move right there. Perfect.
Potential grounding. Offense. Number 5. Lost it down in the spot of the foul. It's put down.
When you bring the pressure as a defensive lineman, you know you're going to get a one-on-one, and you're expected to win, and that's exactly what they did.
Everson Griffin for the last couple of seasons has really played well. 12 sacks in 2014.
Yep.
14 and a half sacks in his last 18 games coming into today. He's become a pass rushing force.
People forget his first 4 years in the league, he did not start a game. And then really came on strong first year as a starter, as you mentioned, a year ago. Caught down at the 10-yard line. And that's where Peterson will come onto the field after the grounding by Foles. The drive stalls for the Rams down 3.
Today's game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Sign up now.
Nick Foles was being looked at just a moment ago. In fact, he just got up off the bench and trying to move around. They were looking at his left ankle, left shin, after the hit he took from Everson Griffin. Sean Hill, of course, is in there for the injured Teddy Bridgewater. And that's Adrian Peterson going toe-to-toe with a Minnesota native, Laurinaitis. A couple of tough cats getting tangled up right there. Last Minnesota drive, it did not go well. There was the personal foul penalty against LaMarcus Joyner, which has knocked Bridgewater out of this game. He can only hope it doesn't knock him out for any longer than today. And then Peterson, a couple of fumbles. They recovered both of them. But the fumbles denied Minnesota keeping the drive alive.
And there's Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator for the Rams. Key possession for them because field position was on their side to start it.
Well, this is all about 28 on this drive. I mean, if there is a man that says, get on my back, especially after his quarterback is knocked out of the game on a dirty play, it is Adrian Peterson.
And the fact that he couldn't hold on to the football the last two possessions. You know, he came into this game with with a whole lot of extra motivation because Todd Gurley was the hot ticket coming in. I was at practice in Minnesota on Friday, and many people came to me unsolicited and said, you know, 28's pretty motivated this week.
Well, he's knocking on the door now of a 100-yard day. Needed 4 yards prior to that carry, and he's right around getting to 100 on that carry.
Tony, where I think he's improved this year as the season has gone on, when I watch tape, is not dancing as much in the backfield, looking for the home run on every snap. I think he's just taking and getting aggressive going forward.
Yeah, if the hole isn't there, he goes and just gets to the line of scrimmage and gets vertical, which he needs to do, because if you dance in the backfield, all of a sudden you're giving those defensive linemen and linebackers time to find you. That's not what you want.
Well, now Hill going to throw it. Boy, you know, you do wonder a little bit now, and Norm Turner has done a nice job here today, and of course he's forgotten more football than I'll ever know, but you've got a 3-point lead. You're under 8 minutes to go. You've given the ball to Peterson 3 times on this drive, and he's picked up big-time yardage for you. And now you're 3rd down and 7 after the incompleted pass.
And after that incompleted pass, I don't doubt that they come back and actually hand it off again. Although, is that Peterson or is that Asiata, who's the pass protector right here? That's Asiata, who's more of a pass protector than he is a runner.
Joe Burger's got to snap the ball when he sees that.
Hill, hit as he throws, incomplete. Brown looking for a flag on LaMarcus Joyner, which does not come.
They could have had a free play on that if Joe Burger went and snapped the ball and the defensive lineman was offsides.
That's an excellent point, Tony, because they jump, he doesn't snap it, and then they run through the play. And they want the pass interference here from Joyner. But I believe as this game has gone on, these officials have let them play downfield. They've been consistent that way.
Great punt this time by Locke. And it will bounce into the end zone. Minnesota bought that fake by Tavon Austin. Turns into a 61-yard boot. No call. We're under 8 minutes to go in Minnesota. Hey, there's a lot on the line in this one right here. Granted, it's only week 9. Green Bay is getting drilled in Carolina. Panthers are going to remain unbeaten. And for the Rams, a chance to pull within a game Well, vital Arizona, of course, they have already beaten the Cardinals in Arizona this season. That was the first game that Todd Gurley got loose. He tries to get loose to Xavier Rhodes, but that goes all the way something to, Tony, what you were talking about earlier. This team is a sure tackling club.
I mean, we see it play after play after play. Open field tackling is something you have to work on every day. And the way the collective bargaining agreement is, where you can only get 11 padded practices during the whole season, I'm amazed at how great both of these teams are tackling today.
As we were going to break, they were looking at Audie Cole. They still are. If you love winning teams, check out the hilarious new comedies on Fox. Grandfather, John Stamos. The Grinder with Rob Lowe. Fresh fun. And bring big league laughs, all new Tuesdays on Fox. They're looking at the right leg of Audie Cole. Got rolled up on from behind. It looked like by Jamon Brown. And then coming across a Minnesota defender along with another blocker. So Brandon Watts, the infrequently used second-year linebacker out of Georgia Tech, will come on and replace Cole, who is already replacing the outstanding rookie Eric Kendricks. Tavon Austin run out of bounds at the 27. We send it back to LA to Mike Hill.
Appears the Carolina Panthers are going to be undefeated after today. Cam Newton, Devin Funchess, 14-yard score, his first career touchdown, 37-14 to 4. Man, Panthers best team in the NFC, guys.
And there are a lot of people wondering about Carolina. I think they're starting to make everybody understand they are mighty good.
And they just adjust, they adapt, they overcome issues, and they make it count.
A big third down, 3 yards to go. Throw by Foles, batted down, and a flag comes in. Intended receiver was Gurley. Trey Waynes made a real nice break on the ball. He's in there replacing the injured Terrence Newman.
Illegal formation. Offense, and the sending runners on the end of the line and not covered. That penalty is declined. The goal of the play is fourth down.
So Trey Waynes, known as a press corner coming out of college, learning how to play in what they call off position. What a tremendous read and break on the football to knock away the pass. There was a penalty on the play against the Rams. They were able to decline it and elect to have the Rams punt the football and get it back.
Fourth down, and Becker puts a foot on it. Last his punt. Techero's at the 22, down on 2 knees to make sure. And he brings it up to the 30. And there are a lot of moving parts going on here. You know, the big picture, Charles, Green Bay, we just mentioned, Mike did, that they're getting drilled by Carolina. Minnesota trying to make it 4 wins in a row and move into a tie for first with the Packers. But you're trying to close this game out without Teddy Bridgewater, who's been knocked out of the game on a personal foul.
So we talked at the beginning about Mike Zimmer turning to his defense and saying, okay, guys, don't have our quarterback. But now you turn to the big guys. Offensive line. You've got Adrian Peterson. Let's take the pressure off of Sean Hill. I think if Norv Turner gets to the situation he was in on the last series, where it's second and about 7 or 8, I think he's going to run the ball more now as opposed to throwing the football.
Peterson cuts it back to the inside. That'll be a gain of close to 5 on first down.
That's also an advantage to them with the clock, too, right, Charles?
Yes, exactly, because now I think Norv's going to look at it and say, okay, we saw those last couple of throws by Sean. Terrific backup quarterback, but it's just not clicking. Let's go ahead and run it with the big horse. If we don't get what we want, we punt it again and play defense. But as you noted, Tony, you take time off the clock. They threw it 2 times on the last drive. Not much time left. Excuse me, not much time left off of the clock. So I think he's going to run it from here on out.
Turn around and give it to Peterson again. Picks up a yard. So here you are on 3rd down and 5. As we are now under 6 minutes to go, and Minnesota with a 3-point lead.
You know, people didn't see early in the game, we had a 61-yard field goal because the wind from the open end of the stadium going the opposite direction behind him. Now the Rams are going to have that advantage. If they can get in the area of the 40-yard line coming back, we could have a tie game. So they have an advantage going this way.
I think if he throws it here, don't be surprised they throw a little wide receiver screen or something, get out of his hands quickly.
Third down. And in and out of the hands, it looked like of Jarius Wright. So Minnesota gets the football, unable to do anything with it. And the Rams will get another shot.
It's actually good coverage there by Janoris Jenkins. He arrives at the time that the ball gets to Jarius Wright. And these officials have told us in the second half by their calls, they're going to let these guys be aggressive downfield in coverage. And Wright certainly was, Janoris Jenkins certainly was.
Teddy Bridgewater, we're told, will not return. He is suffering from concussion-like symptoms and will not return in this game. I'm going to tell you what, that handshake at the end of this game between Mike Zimmer and Jeff Fisher is going to be one to keep an eye on, because Zimmer is still steaming about that hit by LaMarcus Joyner on his second-year quarterback to the head.
Every coach wants to take care of his own, take care of the quarterback. And now Mike Zimmer's locked in on getting this game over with a 3-point lead. But he will have this in the back of his mind all the way through where he lost his QB.
I mean, it was a forearm right to the head. Shoulder right to the head.
Yeah, we'll be hearing about this in the next week when the league office reviews it as well.
Oh, you see the fine money in the paper also.
Into the hands of Austin. And what a play. Hey, at the end of the day, did he really make the play? I guess he did make the play. But that's Brian Robinson who was able to trip him up after all.
Okay, Robinson stayed home, meaning he didn't buy the fake to the going back the opposite side, 96 in purple. And he gets just enough of Tavon Austin with his arms.
Foot.
And then he gets to see the arm hits him, and then he gets down to the foot and takes it out from Tavon Austin. An excellent play by Brian Robinson, number 96.
That's a good play. Loss of a yard, second down and 11 for Foles and the Rams. Down 3, 4:30 to go. Gurley picks up a first down and then some. Runs through Rhodes. Took a shot from Zendejo, but good enough for a first down right at the midfield stripe.
Boy, it was that a patient run and then an explosion for the 16-yard pickup. See how he stays, see how he stays right, he stays out, and then boom.
We welcome those of you watching as New England downs Washington today. Here a tight one. Minnesota's won 3 in a row. An 18-15 lead. Their quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater, has been knocked out of the game. And look at Gurley, who has had a very, very quiet afternoon. But now on back-to-back plays, go for 16 and 10. Or close to 10. And that's nearly as many yards as he's had the entire day.
And he ran through Linval Joseph, number 98, who's been so sensational today, first, and broke a few other tackles. And guess what? They're already in field goal position. Because right now, this would be, what, a 58-yard kick? Already had a 61, and this is with the wind at his back for Greg Zuerlein.
Yeah, for those who have not been with us the entire game, Zuerlein, a wind-dated 61-yarder. He nailed it. Turn around and hand it once more to Gurley, and he's inside the 35, down to the 33. It's the first time the Rams in the second half have done anything on offense. At one point, they had a 15-zip run to close out the first half, but look at those possessions here in the second half.
Things totally flipped, because as you noted with that run, that meant they were controlling the football, controlling the clock. In fact, Minnesota only ran 11 plays of their own on offense in the second quarter because St. Louis had controlled the ball. Things changed in the second half.
Ray Mason into the backfield, and he is met head-on. Greenway is there. Robinson is there. I'm not so sure that's not Joseph getting up at the bottom of that pile again.
I think you'd be correct. Linval Joseph has played one sensational game today inside a defensive tackle for Minnesota.
Tremendous. He's controlled that middle of the line of scrimmage.
We're down to the 2-minute warning. Gurley trying to get his team into a position to take the lead or at the minimum tie. Zuerlein at a 61-yard field goal try right now. Ball at the 34-yard line. It would be in the neighborhood of about 52 yards. But the Rams are thinking about a touchdown to win the game. Tavon Austin behind the line of scrimmage and turns a disaster, at least into maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage. If that turns into a 7 or an 8-yard loss, now that field goal attempt is knocking at the door at 60 again.
It's an excellent point. Skilled running kept them in the spot they need to be if you're thinking about a tie. They've run that play a number of times today. I was wondering if the counter was going to be at some point Austin raising up and throwing the football.
3rd down and 10. And they run it. And Gurley to the 30. So this would be right around a 47, 48-yard field goal. Now, Zuerlein's had a great game. 3 out of 3. One of them from 60 yards. Timeout by Minnesota. But this season, Zuerlein has missed 6 times of his first 15 field goal tries.
He's had 2 blocks. Today, it looks like everything is going very well. All the mechanics are there. The blocking's good up front. And I think what Jeff Fisher was thinking as he managed the game was, if we're in position here to try and get the 3 the way Zuerlein's kicked it, let's get the 3 and get the tie, because Minnesota now, Shaun Hill's at quarterback, not Teddy Bridgewater. It's a different thinking and a different mentality now for St. Louis and their defense about who they might be facing, even in a tie game, and it might get to overtime.
Johnny Hecker will spot it at the 38. So a 48-yard game-tying attempt for Greg Zuerlein. And he missed it wide right.
As that ball came off the tee, it took a right-hand turn from the wind. Look how much that ball curved.
That looked similar to one of his warm-up kicks. We showed that earlier, that Greg Zuerlein likes to warm up and kick at a post, at a small object, as opposed to trying to put it through every time. Aim small, miss small. In this case, he missed big to the right. Mike Zimmer and the Vikings get to celebrate.
Well, this kind of game is nowhere close to being over. The Rams have all 3 timeouts remaining. And on 1st down, they roll out Shaun Hill, and he is dropped for a 13-yard loss.
And really, the play was made by Akeem Ayers, the linebacker of St. Louis, because he doesn't let the tight end off coming to you to the top of your screen. See, it was misdirection, and they were hoping to sneak the tight end out and give Shaun Hill an easy throw. But Ayers read it quickly, took that away, and Shaun Hill is not anything close to nimble or agile, and he did the right thing and just went down to avoid a fumble.
Well, they tried to fool him. They didn't fool anybody. And immediately the Rams spend one of their 3 remaining timeouts. Now they're down to 2.
And it also hurts field position in a big way for Minnesota and helps St. Louis in hopes of getting the ball back and another shot at a tying field goal.
Well, they almost stripped the ball loose right as Hill was trying to hand it off. Peterson back to the line of scrimmage and another timeout. That took 5 seconds to run that play.
Minnesota trying to close this game out. This is not anywhere close to smooth.
That was Aaron Donald who almost blew this thing up.
See the quick penetration. He got inside so fast. That almost messed up everything for the Vikings.
Well, Mike Zimmer's team trying to get its 4th straight win, and they've got some tough games coming up, going to Oakland, Green Bay at home, Atlanta having a solid year. You know about Seattle, then go to Arizona. So A 3-point lead against a good Rams team. A minute 30 to go. They'll hand it off, and I'm sure they'll spend another timeout. So you go back to the first down debacle, and the clock was at a minute 36. The next two plays took a total of 9 seconds. Now, the Rams are out of timeout. But because of that sack and a loss of nearly 15, now you're punting into the wind that you and Tony have been talking about all day today.
The first down call was so huge because it set the tone for the rest of the series. They didn't put the Rams on their heels at all. The Rams became the ones to dictate, and they're going to get the ball back with another potential shot for Greg Zuerlein, if not something bigger.
And you saw Jeff Fisher looking out to Tavon Austin saying, move up, move up, move up.
Yeah, he doesn't want the ball to hit the ground here. He wants Tavon Austin to be able to field it and not give up any extra yardage. Let's see if the punter tries to skim it.
He let it rip. And Austin from the 32-yard line will cross a 35. Very good field position. I mean, it's conceivable. Now, we saw a guy just miss from 48. So these kickers, as we know, they're not perfect. They're like the rest of us. But we have seen Zuerlein today hit from 61. So where they start this drive, they would be just 20 yards away from giving him another 58 to 61-yard field goal attempt.
Yeah, that just tells you about defense, too, because the rule of thumb is to guard the 35-yard line in your own end aggressively. That's a 52, 53-yard field goal, and that's what you guard and you play defense. For them, you might want to guard your 45-yard line with the way Zuerlein and his leg can unfold.
It's where you make your money time now in the NFL. They come after Foles on first down, and a strike he delivers to Britt. And that's up to the 48-yard line, a yard short of the first down. Clock running. Out of timeouts is St. Louis. 1 minute to go. Cunningham staying in there to block. Lofted down the sideline. Penalty flag down. And they will get Waynes, who is in there for the injured Terrence Newman. And that would put the ball at the 35-yard line.
See, watch Waynes in the coverage. He doesn't know where the ball is.
Defense number 26.
And Britt does.
Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
And so he gets that last push in. See, that's a college play. Because he thinks ball's not in the air, I can still put my hands on him. But in the NFL, you have 5 yards from the line of scrimmage to put your hands on a player. After that, has to go off. Trey Waynes lost his technique on that play.
17-yard penalty. Gurley still on the sideline. Foles fires far side, incomplete. Second down, 46 seconds remain. Zuerlein 3 of 4 today. 61, 35, 45. Good. A miss just a moment ago from 48 that would have tied the game, and he might get another shot.
Tony, you think Zimmer brings pressure here?
I would. Why not? Try to go and get a sack, take him back a little bit to get Zuerlein out of his comfort zone, put him in where the wind could affect him a little bit more on a deeper kick.
No flags. That had an odd look to it as that ball was snapped. But unable to get it to Britt at the 25 is Foles. There is a penalty flag right in the middle of the field.
Came in late in the middle. I think this is going against St. Louis for a hold. It looked like Greg Robinson kind of raised out of his stance and made it a little discombobulated to start with.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
You cannot get a holding penalty in this situation. Wow. And that's just 10 extra yards on the kicker.
So Garrett Reynolds right here is who they called for the penalty. He's got his hands. It looks like Daniil Hunter, number 99, forced the penalty.
That backs you up 10 yards when you're out of timeouts and you're thinking about a long penalty, a long field goal try. Line of scrimmage from the 35 to the 45. Caught. Back to the 35, and the clock continues to run. This is a 3rd down coming up and 10 yards to go. They're not going to spike this thing. They need to pick up some more yards.
And the Vikings brought pressure in the last play and doing it again.
Incomplete. All right, here we go again. This would be right around a 56-yard or 53-yard field goal attempt, I beg your pardon. Line of scrimmage at the 35. So we'll call it a 53-yard attempt to try and tie it by Zuerlein. He's hit from 61. He missed a moment ago from 48. Now 53 and timeout by Mike Zimmer. That kick was good, but time had been called.
He's still close to that right upright, even on this one that they iced him on.
There's a miss a moment ago.
Tony, had the wind died down on that attempt? You called the wind on the last one, then you said it pushed it right. How about on that last one there?
On that last one, it was pretty still down there. I'm looking at the flags on the top of the goalpost, and right now they're moving even more from left to right. The wind is coming in from this open area from behind me, and it's sort of swirling around from left to right. It's going to be a tougher kick this time.
All righty. 58-yard and now 53-yard field goal try by Zuerlein to tie it. Snap, hold, hammered, and it is good to tie the game at 18. Zuerlein gets a second chance and delivers the goods big time for the Rams.
And every bit of the mechanics excellent by the Rams, and Zuerlein with confidence pounds that one through. We always talk about defensive backs with short-term memories. Kickers have to have the same when they've just missed a kick, and Zuerlein showed no effects of the previous miss.
He had to actually make two in a row because Zimmer had called timeout. He couldn't even watch it the next go around, but he knew by the crowd's reaction that we were tied at 18.
Since Bridgewater has gone out, the offense has really stalled in so many ways. And then the last couple of possessions, as you noted so astutely, no time went off the clock. The Rams were able to use their timeouts. Vikings weren't able to move the ball at all, and without the time ticking off, that gave the Rams enough time to come down and kick the tying field goal as we head down the stretch in this game.
Sherrill's back there alongside of Cordero Patterson. 12 seconds remain here in regulation. And the wind will push this one 3 yards into the end zone. Sherrill's going to bring it out. And he is leveled at the 17-yard line. So the Rams go the entire second half. Possession after possession, punt, 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 5 in a row. And their last 2 possessions of the game, they get into field goal range, a miss. Their defense, a 3 and out. They get it back one more time with 1:20 left, get into field goal range, and Zuerlein ties it. And Hill's going to take a knee, and we're on our way to overtime. Now, of course, there are different rules from the regular season and the postseason. So let's make sure everybody understands what's going on here. They'll flip a coin to determine possession. Both teams do have an opportunity to possess the ball, and you can possess it by getting a turnover.
Correct.
Unless the initial possession is a touchdown or a safety. 15-minute period. Each team will be given a pair of timeouts. All replays initiated from the booth.
So there we have it. You get 1 period to finish this. Now, if this were the playoffs, we'd go until we had it. So now we want to see about the wind being such a big factor. How does it play into overtime?
Well, I mean, the decision, look, it's a great question, Charles, because when you're asking yourself, what do you want to do? You know, if you let the other team have the ball,
they can finish
score a touchdown, they can win the game.
They finish it.
But, you know, you're talking about, that doesn't happen
very often.
That's right. Not as frequently as at least each team getting a shot.
But I don't think the wind's enough of a factor to turn it down and play wind, and you take the ball first.
Captains,
you know,
we will
I don't ever
play
do
one
that.
overtime period of up to 15 minutes. Each team will have the opportunity to possess the ball unless the team that first gets possession scores a touchdown or we have a defensive foul. Each team will be given 2 timeouts. All replay reviews are from the booth. Fourth quarter timing rules are in effect. If the score is still tied at the end of the 15 minutes, the game will be declared a tie. Any questions? Here's the coin, St. Louis. There's the head. There's the tail. What's your call? Tails is the call. Tails is the call. It is heads.
You want to defend this end.
You want to defend this head. Okay, you're getting the ball.
They took the win,
Minnesota's
guys.
won the toss. Elected to defend this goal. It will kick off to St. Louis.
How about that?
Wow, you don't see that very often.
No, you
But
do
Mike
not.
Zimmer, hey, that's a lot of confidence in your defense.
And when they come asking after the game, it better be. Well, some facts on overtime games this year. This will be the 12th. The 17 has won 10 or 7 of the 11 as a home team. Team winning the coin toss 5 out of 6. You know, one play you can't overlook in this game that we talked about at the time as that one's booted through the back of the end zone is Jeff Fisher's decision to go for 2 early in this game. You know, if you play out the rest of the game. So remember, he missed the chance to go ahead and make it a 10-7 game with his team behind.
So
He went for 2 to make it 10-6. Let's assume he kicks it for a minute, right?
Yep.
It's 10-7. As the game plays out, that last field goal, because Minnesota doesn't go for 2, which obviously gave him a 3-point lead on the Bridgewater touchdown and 2-point conversion. That last field goal wins the game for the Rams 19-17 if they kick the extra point on their first touchdown.
It's always interesting with the new PAT rules about the decisions you have to make as a head coach and with the way the wind was swirling around today.
Early on first down, and again, behind the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, but that is a loss of 6. Harrison Smith was the first one there to slow him down and put him on the defensive right away. Seen a 61-yard field goal. Zerline joining Janikowski, the only 2 kickers in the history of the NFL to hit from 60 and beyond twice in a career. Peterson has gone for 104 yards, but Bridgewater took a vicious hit to the head, knocked out of the game. Personal foul by LaMarcus Joyner. And the Minnesota Vikings offense has just been in neutral. That play's going nowhere. And again, beautifully defended by the captain, Captain Munnerlyn. Guy's a good player.
And this is exactly why Mike Zimmer did what he did. Won the coin toss, chose to defend with the wind. He had confidence in his defense. Huge third down here. And the way he's called this game, I don't expect him to sit back here. I still expect to see some type of pressure, 1 extra rusher at Nick Foles.
What they got to do is just play everything in front of them.
They've got Zendejo standing all the way back to the 32-yard line. Nobody's getting behind him. And they try to get behind him, and that's just not going to happen. So 3 and out. Zimmer puts trust in his defense, feeling the wind direction was more important. And it's 3 and out for the Rams.
And it turns out to be a heck of a call by him because to fit that throw in would have been tough. Foles gets hit. There's Everson Griffin right at the end with a little bit of pressure, but that would have been a very difficult throw to fit in over the top of one defender and in front of a second one.
Always dangerous. Marcus Sherrill stands back at his own 45-yard line. That is a great punt by Hecker, chasing him back to the 23. And along the sideline, it is Sherrill. Did he step out of bounds? He did not. They're going to mark that ball close to midfield. How in the world do they find the balance to do it? These are just remarkable athletes.
And what a play by Sherrill's first going back to catch the ball. And right there could have been a block in the back that did not get called. Mike Harkey, 46. And it looked like number 51, Edmund Robinson, right there in the middle, blocked him. And I haven't seen a flag. So the Vikings fortunate to be that Sherrill's return, his gutsy return, has held up.
63-yard punt, 27-yard return. And this drive starts nearly at midfield. Into the hands of Peterson off the left side across midfield, but that's about it. Second down coming up. Well, this game certainly turned immediately for Minnesota after Bridgewater took this hit that knocked him out of the game with an apparent concussion by LaMarcus Joyner. Zuerlein had a chance to tie it, missed, got a second chance to tie it, and drilled it from 53 yards, sending this game into overtime. 3 and out for the Rams. And now a field goal can win it for Minnesota. Sean Hill throws, and it's caught short of the first down by Red Ellison. 3rd down and a yard coming up.
And remember, when you flip things over, we've spent so much time talking about the Rams kicker, Greg Zuerlein. What about Blair Walsh, the tremendous kicker for Minnesota, who has now made, what, 14 straight kicks?
Yep.
His confidence awfully high, and in 2012 in St. Louis, he made 5 for 5 in the game against these Rams. 3 of those kicks from 50 yards or more. I know it was a dome, and that's different, but he has that same confidence going he had that year as a rookie.
Walsh has one of the best legs in the NFL. And this is a first down and then some for Peterson. He's to the 30-yard line, wrapped up by McLeod.
You want to put it in someone's hands. Adrian Peterson's the guy in a situation like this.
See Barron 26 diving into the gap, and the crease came on the backside there. Fusco 63, Berger 61, Khalil 75, that side of the line. And Peterson found that opening and put them into field goal position now.
Well, they'd love to get even closer.
Oh, they're not going to take it. They will take every yard they can get to get closer.
And that means again in the hands of Peterson. Cuts it back to the inside. That'll be a gain of 6 on first down for Peterson. Laurinaitis wrapped him up.
If you're the Rams now with Peterson carrying the football, first guy who gets to him, do what you can. Everyone else come in trying to rake the ball free. That's what you want. You've got to create a turnover at this stage. So if you're Adrian Peterson, who's dropped a couple already today, ball security paramount at this point of the game because you have more than enough distance now for your field goal.
It's a 4th possession with Hill at quarterback. It's only the 2nd time that Minnesota's picked up a first down. That's maybe a gain of a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Yeah, this is just strictly about, okay, where does Blair Walsh want to kick the ball from? He comes here every Wednesday when they're going to have a home game. While the team's practicing out in Eden Prairie, he comes to this stadium on Wednesdays and works through his kicks, understands the wind patterns, different times of day. He's already told him where he wants the ball on this carry.
And it's going to be a carry by Asiata. He might get first down yardage. Nope. He appears to be about a half a yard short. And here comes Walsh to try and win it for a 2nd consecutive weekend. Remember, the Vikings were down 10 last weekend against the Bears. They got a touchdown, eventually tied the game, and then the game winner from 36 yards out, the 4th game-winning field goal in the career of Walsh. This one will be from 40 yards away. And a timeout going to be called by the Rams. Kevin McDermott is the first-year long snapper for Minnesota. Here's that game winner last week. Not an easy place to kick, but nothing to it for Walsh. Walsh really struggled in the preseason, struggled early this year, and people began to wonder, is this the same guy that was so good in 2012? Well, ever since some of those questions came up, as you point out, Charles, he's hit 14 in a row.
Remember what he did to get right as well. He went back to the University of Georgia on his open week to ship the bag of footballs ahead, had that little tee holder that you have when you kick by yourself, and worked through his issues, worked through his problems along with his special teams coach Mike Prefer, and has not looked back since. As you've noted, working on a streak of 14 straight, trying to get a 2nd game winner.
So here we go. Lock the holder to to try and win it from 40 yards away, and Walsh has given the Vikings their 4th consecutive win. Well, you saw right there Mike Zimmer walking right by Jeff Fisher. And here's a game winner by Walsh. And these Vikings all of a sudden are 6-2. Peterson today goes for 125 yards. And Walsh celebrating back-to-back wins. Walking right past, not even looking at him. With Zimmer there. Fisher went back to take a look. But you can understand why Zimmer is very upset about his quarterback being knocked out of this game. Minnesota wins it. 21-18. Peterson and Gurley say we'll see each other again.